Hi again, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be joining us. We'd like to welcome you to Week 6, Homecoming 2025 of Bakersfield College Renegades football right here on Bakersfield College Renegades Athletic YouTube page and Kern News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1. I'm Rob Chavez alongside my partner, former Renegades captain, coach, and Hall of Famer Kenny Calvin. We also have our man Steven Sparky Nicholas in the studio downtown and Dr. Julian Wilson to my left. Running the board. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Carpet Outlet Plus, Pepsi featuring Pepsi Zero, Luigi's, Hocking, Denton, Palmquist, Golden Empire Youth Football, Barbage, Hooper, King, Dill Hoffman, and the Bakersfield, California. Tonight the Renegades are back home for homecoming to take on the Cerritos Falcons, and both teams are going in different directions. BC 2-3 coming off a third straight loss. This time on the road at Pasadena, while Cerritos are winners of 4 straight. And we won't belabor the loss from last week, but the listeners always want to hear from the resident Hall of Famer, Kenny Calvin. Kenny, homecoming, Hall of Fame week, you know, everything. We got Tyrone Crawford on the field, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Rick Van Horn just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Isn't this just the perfect week to be able to get off of this 3-game losing streak?
Absolutely, because it's like a reset button. You know, you're going into conference play against a team that you've beaten in the past, but definitely has the leg up on you from a records perspective. Very talented quarterback that they have over there as well. We'll get into his details later. But for a Renegade team, you're really just trying to create some new energy. You try some experiments in the first half of the season. You know what you have in the locker room. You've seen some success. You've seen some failure. This is a great opportunity for the whole coaching staff and a lot of this locker room from a player's perspective to find out if they believe in themselves for the second half of the season.
That's right. And again, I think we're going to probably see a little bit more consistency, number one, at the quarterback position, which is what we've been talking about all season long. We've had the 2-quarterback system with Malachi Statler and Carson Woods, and talking with the offensive play callers and Seth Dameron and Coach Dean. It looks like number 2 Carson Woods is going to be the guy under center today to lead this offense, but we got a lot of defensive players that are coming back, including Walker Mino out of Shafter.
And that's big for the defense because he was a guy that was stated to be the anchor, and it's hard to find yourself defensively without your anchor. But I think the Bakersfield College defense, our defense, did a great job of showing that they can be dominant when they have some consistency.
We have a couple of other injuries that we'll talk about, but we're getting kicked off right here. Carter Colsar kicking off for the Renegades. Number 7 takes it. Rocco Caldarelli takes it at the 1-yard line, and he's going to get it up past the 30. Good return right there for Caldarella. He gets brought down by number 16, Jonathan Brucker. We'll call him Juanito, according to his dad, Russell. He says he's from the east side and went to Highland. He is not Johnny, he's Juanito. But also Elijah Lucero, who's always seems to be around the football on the kickoff.
All right, trips open set for this Cerritos offense. They have some talent on the edge. Going to be important to establish dominance up front. First and 10.
Quarterback number 17, Jeremiah Calvin, 75% passer with 1,160 yards so far in 5 games. And he comes out passing deep, and he's going to have a man, but breaking up that play is Aiden Moreno, number 7. Great hit. And I'll tell you, that's a tone setter right there early in the game.
Absolutely a great impact play by Moreno, who's had some issues in coverage. And that's going to be big for his confidence as he protects the backside of that defense. Skinny post route on a well-thrown ball, and that's just a great impact hit.
2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line.
Shotgun double set.
Looks like we got Josh Kaysen, the running back, right behind Calvin. Kaysen's going to be the fake man right there. They get the ball out in the flats, completed to about the 40-yard line. Couple of missed tackles. You had number 3 out there, Saxon Vea, and he brings it up to about the 40-yard line for a pickup of 8, so it'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, quick out route, and that was just great individual effort after the catch. 3rd and short.
So, yeah, Va'a, excuse me. Calvin now with 2 backs, one to his left, one to his right, 2 receivers to his left, one split out right. He's standing at his own 35-yard line, hands it off to Kaysen. Kaysen's not going to get there. He's going to be stopped at the 40-yard line, and already an interesting decision right here for Cerritos. Will they go or will they kick?
Great job by that defensive line, not allowing themselves to be reach blocked on that right side. You keep containing, and it forces that back inside to your help. 3 and out for the defense, but here, you have to stay disciplined and watch for the fake stuff. This is a great opportunity if you're Cerritos to try to run something funny.
Yeah, 4th and 1 from the 41-yard line, 41-yard line, excuse me. Dejon Shanks, number 0.
Low
snap. You're going to have a chance, and oh, man, had an opportunity to be able to get the punt. Shanks is going to leave it. It's probably going to be down around the 23-yard line, and you've seen Lucero that was back there, and it looks like he laid up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm glad he did. I would have liked to see him take a proper angle, but with that bobbled snap, it kind of changes your trajectory, and you don't want to see him run into the punter. So great discipline. 1st and 10 Renegades. But how about that defense?
3 and out to get this homecoming started. And right out of the gate, we see number 2, Carson Woods out of Liberty High with Ian Jernigan to his right, Bubba Nettles to his left. 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. As we're going to get started here, shotgun snap to Woods. Woods out into the flats, and that pass is going to be incomplete, and it was intended for Ben Spears out of Stockdale High.
Yeah, you know, the youngster has had some special catches in moments, but he's definitely going to look at those kind of plays and realize he has to make those plays if he wants early opportunities. Incomplete pass.
And really it seems as if it's the easy passes that he's having the hardest time with. So here we go, 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line. They give it to Jernigan. Jernigan slips up at about the 21, stays on his feet, gets past the 20, up to about the 30. And I tell you what, that little hesitation, that slip up, actually made it almost like a counter tray.
Yeah, it did, because he allowed the flow of the defense to pass him. And I had a conversation with Jernigan over the last couple of weeks, and he said, hey, you know, I can be frustrated as anybody, but I'm still a team guy, and I'm just ready to prove what I can do when I get my chances. And that's a great opportunity of that, or example of that opportunity.
Yeah, nothing but good things to say about Ian Jernigan. You know, despite any kind of struggle he may have had, he's a consummate leader out there on the field. So after a pickup of 5, 3rd and 5, fakes the handoff, and another drop pass out in the flats. For this time it was, looks like it's number 81, Jaheim Alexander, the tight end. So now we're going to be in a punt situation early, and it's going to be a field positioning game so far in the first.
Yeah, you love the play calls of our offensive coordinators in those first sequence of plays, but as players, you got to make those.
You got to execute. You got to execute. So here we go. So we got Ethan Aronson out to punt. Aronson is going to get it away. Spiraling punt. And it's going to be caught at about the 38-yard line. Fair catch. Let's call it the 39-yard line.
You like the punt by the young man, but he's going to have to speed that up because that was a very slow release. And we've seen in the past weeks where we've had punts blocked. Got to make sure you're quickening up that pace to get that kickoff because you definitely had a defender coming around that left or right edge.
33-yard punt for Aronson, not going to get it done as well. Coach Alvarez would really like to see that punt average being at least 38, 39 yards or more, as we got Calvin standing in a shotgun, hands it off to Kaysen. Kaysen makes the first guy miss, but he's not going to make the second guy miss. That's going to be number 43, James Moon, at a Frontier High. I tell you, talking about the Frontier Titans, what a comeback yesterday.
Yeah, amazing comeback for them over Liberty last night. Finding a way to win.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Bandy. I know he's here in person. He's watching his boy. He was a deep snapper. Told him I'd give him a shout out.
Shotgun double set for Cal.
After a 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8, fakes the handoff. Calvin goes up top, and that's going to be incomplete, out of bounds. If he calls that complete, I don't know. Wow. I don't know about that. It looked like he was being carried out of bounds by the time he actually had possession of the ball, but in junior college football, we do not have the benefit of the replay, so that is going to be a big completion right there for Cerritos.
Well, I'll give it to him having a better view than us because we are in the Dameron deck
Right.
about
about 10
yards away.
About 10 stories up.
So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But that was definitely a great catch with some tough coverage and sets up Cerritos for a golden opportunity.
32-yard pass right there for Calvin. Now they hand it off on a jet sweep there, number 3, Saxon Va.
On the end around, number 3, Saxon Va.
And Va is one of their players that they use pretty frequently in multiple areas. Going to be key for the defense to keep an eye on him because he can make plays outside of the box.
Yeah, came in tonight with 170 receiving yards, and he is the return specialist for the Falcons. So the Falcons have it 2nd and 10 after no gain on the play. Calvin out of the shotgun. He's going to get rushed. It's going to be a screen pass out into the flats to Kaysen. Kaysen is going to have enough for the first down, and he's finally going to get brought down, but inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be number 11, Richard Gooden, who makes that tackle.
Nice poise by the quarterback as we had pressure. And that was another example of them trying to outflank that defense, and they were successful there.
14-yard pass catch right there, and now you get it into Va. Va makes the first guy miss, but he's going to get brought down inside the 10 after a pickup of about 8 yards down to the 7. So we've got a 2nd and 2 from the 7. Falcons can pick up that first down at the Renegade 5.
Yeah, Renegade defense on its heels right now. Shotgun double set for Calvin.
Just over 10 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Ball's handed off to Kaysen. Kaysen takes it off right side, and he gets the first down. So they're going to have 4 opportunities to get this in from the 4-yard line.
Nice rush discipline by that Renegade defense.
Mario Rivas out there. And again, you hear a lot about Mario Rivas grading out really high every single week. Calvin gives it to 6. That's Kaysen. Kaysen's going to be in the end zone for the touchdown. Cerritos gets on the board with just under 10 minutes to play here in this first quarter.
And I'm going to tell you what's the problem there. You got 2 free defenders on the right side playing slow instead of attacking color. You basically allowed him to stick his foot in the ground and cut up field when you could have basically tackled him for a loss if you were just committed to flying to the football.
Offense stays out on the field, but they give that look as if they're going to possibly go for 2, but they keep the kicker out there to attempt the extra point attempt, and that's Jonathan Arriola. They have him listed at 5'8". I don't think that's 5'8". The extra point is good. Cerritos takes a 7-0 lead. We're going to keep it here just to, again, remind everybody that today's broadcast is brought to you by Carpet Outlet Plus, Pepsi, featuring Pepsi Zero, Luigi's, Hocking, Denton, Palmquist, Golden Empire Youth Football, Barbich, Hooper, King, Deal, Hoffman, and the Bakersfield, California. Shout out to all of the Golden Empire teams. I know a lot of them are actually having what they call their homecoming. Even the Eastern Sabres are going to be at East High a little bit later on today at 6 o'clock. But I know Coach Romero is going to be here. He got his first win. Congratulations to Coach Romero. First of hopefully many for my East High Blades.
Man, that was an amazing finish for your Blades last night.
It was. So here we go. Shanks takes it at the 5. Shanks has a seam. Oh, but he ran right into the back of his own player, number 18, Walker Mino. First time he's been out there on kickoff teams so far this year, and I guarantee he's probably going to see that one in the film room on Monday.
Yeah, but how about the blocking? You see the wedge set up by that kickoff return. That was a textbook blocking scheme by that wedge, and we've been waiting for Shanks to get loose on some of those. First and 10 Renegades.
Yeah, 33-yard return after a 55-yard kick gives good field positioning for the Renegades. Woods hands it to Jernigan. Jernigan goes right up the gut, gets it up to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. So it'll be 2nd and 5.
And you like to see that on the first down this drive because we started the opening drive last drive with a pass play, and it was incomplete. You know, you give your running backs and that offensive line the fools. Shout out to Coach Castro and his unit. Chance to move some bodies and winning first down. is the key phrase for my Hall of Fame coach, Rick Van Horn.
Hopefully he's going to be joining us a little bit later on today on the broadcast. And we got Woods from 2nd and 6. And it looks like that route was just cut off. And from the body language of Dejon Shanks, he knows that he ran the wrong route.
Yeah, and sometimes they get option routes based on the coverage. And right there, that DB was a little bit on top, right? So he's going to break that route off, hoping that the quarterback
and speaking
sees
of
that.
We're going to let Coach Van Horn get his breath. We also have another luminary up here who just came in. Basically the Hall of Fame class of 2025 here for Bakersfield College.
You know what's funny? I didn't even see him walk up as I was quoting him.
The ball's up, and it's going to be picked right off of Dejon Shanks' hands. Number 6 was able to come up with that, Ezra Miller, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 47-yard line. First down, Cerritos. Coach, welcome up to the Dameron deck. I'll let you catch your breath here. Stairs probably aren't as easy to climb as they were in 1981.
No, and we got lucky. We got a bus ride over to the front here.
How about that? All right, I think Kenny wants us to get a picture in here.
Yeah, if we can get Dr. J to look right, he'll be great.
Oh, he's working. He's a working man.
Oh, my God.
Tyrone, how you doing, man?
He's Fresno
Good to see you
State guy.
again.
Watch him.
You know, so going back to that last play, another drop ball, but this time it leads to a turnover. 3 drop balls by our receivers in the first quarter. Definitely not how you want to come out as an offense. Trips open set.
1st and 10 from the 46. Calvin looks to his left. He looks over the middle. That one's going to be nearly intercepted. I tell you, the Renegades have the anti-stick-em down there right now.
Thomas struck with a golden opportunity. Fumbles it away, and we got to find a way to make those plays. Cerritos is an offense that's already averaging 42 points a game. And now we got the legendary Coach Van Horn. Coach, how you feeling?
Well, they got lucky there because Cerritos had a guy running down the seam wide open. Then we drop an interception. So that's like a drop ball on offense. So
we won't bring up some names of the past that drove you nuts and gave you some of that white hair over at East High that dropped some footballs. So we're going to see Calvin handing it off. Looks like that is Kaysen. Kaysen's going to get tripped up. Great play off that edge by Tyler Lewis. Tell you what, over the last 3 weeks, Tyler has really stepped up as the leader of this defense.
You know, and it's huge based on the fact we lose a guy like Chase Furtado, and him and Lewis were basically tag team in that outside backers position. And you got to love the plays that get them behind the chains.
Coach, 3rd and 12. What do we got here from Cerritos?
well, you got 3rd and 12, so you got basically a double set. So cover 2. We're thinking something down the seam here, right where that X is.
Calvin
on the field.
Out of the shotgun.
Oh,
It's going to be a delayed handoff, and there it is. That's number 28 on that counter. Nice. Jojo Apasala, and he's going to be up to about the 39-yard line, so it's going to be 4th and short. And you got to think, yep, they're going to go straight to an up-tempo offense, keep the offense out there and 4th down.
Nice call on a draw. You go draw screen on 3rd and long. Now we go empty. Got to keep a spy on Calvin.
And usually that's Thomas Struck, number 5. He's motioning around. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion right there out on defense, but Calvin is going to take a quick snap. And what'd you say? Got to have a spy on Calvin, and Calvin is going to go right up the middle. Man, there's been a few Calvins on this field over the years that have been making plays.
You know, I mean, it feels great to hear my name over and over again. I'm just playing, guys. But very key to make sure you got a guy on him because they don't do a lot of run with him by design other than those 3rd down opportunities. And that moves the chains, 1st and 10.
So, Coach, we heard from Coach Thompson a couple of different times, even in my own personal conversation with him. He said that 3rd quarter, I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at that box score, 3rd quarter against Pasadena might have been the worst quarter in BC history. And I know you've been around this program for a while as we get a run up for about 5 yards.
I definitely saw that, 45 straight, but that wasn't all in 3rd quarter. But it wasn't.
Well, 35 of the 45 came in that 3rd quarter.
Yeah. And it's like you've got to stop the bleeding somehow, whether you just run the ball, eat up the clock, and stop the bleeding, or I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
2nd and 4, and that's why you're in the Hall of Fame. 2nd and 4, Kaysen right up the middle. He's going to get stuffed. And I tell you, this is one thing that, Bakersfield has actually been doing really well over the last couple of years, be able to handle that inside power. But as you could tell, a little bit of that delayed offense and passes out into the flats has been really – that's been nickel and dime in this defense.
Another thing we've done well, Rob, is get off the field in 3rd down in recent weeks prior to the couple of weeks ago when it was a disaster. It's going to be key right now, 3rd and 4.
Now we got Calvin out of the shotgun. He looks up over the middle, and that pass could have been intercepted as well too. But now they got a catch down there, and this is going to be enough for the 1st down at the 20. So, Coach, that was you said it on the pregame show, a heck of an event on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was
they did a great job. Jenny Lewis and Todd Hansen and the whole BC staff did a great job.
Always a good dinner, always a good environment, and it was good to see your dad out there too.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned it, and he even said, "I'm glad I'm here."
Yeah, he's 87, so yeah,
But he wants his ladders back. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
As Calvin looks over the middle, he's got a man open inside the 10. He's at the 5, and he's going to be down, brought down on the play. Looks like that Songbay Ginyu, number 5, Nicholas Adamora. And we're going to get, as soon as this drive is over, we're going to have Tyrone also talk to him a little bit because I know that was a big night for both of these guys.
Man, beautiful night. I think my favorite moment watching Tyrone give his speech was just his love and dedication to family. Having his family and his daughters there, that was beautiful.
Hand off to Kaysen. Kaysen's got nothing but a red end zone in front of him. Touchdown, Cerritos. And it just looks like there's not a whole lot of energy. And we were talking about this is about perfect opportunity for them to have homecoming energy, Hall of Fame, couple of weeks off.
And what do we talk about from a rhythm perspective? You have to catch footballs on 1st down. Like, we start the game off, first drive, we drop 3 passes. The next drive, we drop a pass that leads to an interception. You got to find ways to do the simple things to create momentum for yourselves early.
Yeah. And BC's a team that cannot come back from 14 down, 21 down. We found that out. It's a run-based offense with play action off that, but you got to be running the ball well to get the play action off that.
Absolutely, right. Coach. One of my favorite moments of your week, Coach, we didn't know as much as we knew about you as players that we did as grown-ups as we grew up. But I worked with your cousin, Miss Ocampo, and she said the next day we were at work on Friday, and she was like, well, he's my cousin, and I always knew he was pretty cool, but when other people start talking about it, you start to believe it. And I was like, well, that's how we felt as kids, too. He coached us.
It's like every coach you've ever had, you really don't know their past. And Coach Tyrone Crawford tell you about he's had a million coaches and not really knowing their playing career. And you're going, oh, my God, you did this, that.
You coached where? You coached who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, that was beautiful, Coach. Honored to be there with you and well overdue and well deserved.
So we get the ball. Shanks at the 7. Shanks is going to look for a seam. And he's going to get up past the 25-yard line. So I know that before we get Coach Van Horn get Tyrone on, one of the things that we were asked of too, Kenny, was just about just our impression of Coach. Again, like you said, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame because of primarily things that he did before I was born.
Right.
When you were in a
I was in a diaper.
Yeah, exactly. But I can take it back to again when March of 1994, I'm in the Washington Junior High cafeteria. Ooh, that's a big hit right there for Cerritos, and I'll tell you what, one maybe not even a yard, but it said, hey, anybody who wants to play football next year at East High, come over to the cafeteria. And I'm thinking, okay, it's a way for me to get away from class.
Sure.
And from the very beginning, it was like I watched East High football since I was 5 years old, and I knew it was pretty lackadaisical. Yeah. Like I told you guys, going to East High games, if we got 1 or 2 wins a year, man, I was happy watching it here. And it felt like when I used to go to the BHS games and the level of expectation was like, hey, if you're going to come here, I don't want you to have, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're going to be 2 feet in. Yeah. So, is that pretty much the approach?
Because what we had coming in, they hadn't won a game in 23 games straight they had lost. And so it was like my job was on the line because nobody at East has ever gone on to coach after that. So it was I left a pretty good program to come over there and get this going. So it's like, we're going to win. Whether you like it or not, we're going to win.
So on the 3rd and 3 play, you got Nettles that rushes it up for 2 yards. And, and again, in talking with Kenny and us talking about what expectations were like at BHS, it's essentially what those expectations were like over at East High. A little bit of a different history behind both programs, and that's really the big difference.
And Kenny kind of knew. He already knew the pressure was on him before he even got there, and he knew that.
Absolutely.
As a guy that was probably supposed to go to East High.
Yeah, I was close. I was a Compton Colt.
Here we go. Aronson kicking it away.
Wow, good punt.
Going to be taken at the 15. Makes it 2 guys miss, and finally going to get brought down. So, Coach, appreciate it. Anytime you want to come up here, we got 2 more home games.
You got it.
We'll have you up.
Well, you're going to listen to a guy that knows it right
Absolutely,
here.
absolutely.
Drafted by Jimmy Jones, or Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Old man Jones.
Old man Jones. So he knows all that stuff you're hearing about on ESPN. This guy knows it.
Right on. So we got 1st and 10 for Cerritos at the 17-yard line. And again, we're going to get new Hall of Famer Tyrone Crawford,
the legend,
on the broadcast. As we're going to get this play in here really quick. Calvin, you're going to hand the ball off to number 5, Nicholas Adamora. Tyrone, appreciate you coming on and joining us, man. That's a hike, dude, to get up here.
Oh, man, it was. It was a little hike, but, definitely needed after this weekend and the celebration we've had.
Yeah, and again, I know Kenny's going to give his appreciation of being a part of the Hall of Fame committee, but it's so awesome for this community, for these players to be able to see a guy that got to the level you did, played at the level you did, but also are so humble as well, too, with it. And that's what I got out of your Hall of Fame speeches. We got Calvin passes it out in the flats. Looks like Adamora once again. Good tackle out there. Open field tackle by Tyler Lewis.
Yeah, my favorite thing about you, of course, not having a chance to see you play based on the years you were here, but knowing the history based on us having the same coaches and calling and checking in and hearing your name before the greatness and watching you work your way into the position you're in life is a beautiful thing. But my favorite thing of the week was seeing you speak to the players, and reminding the guys what a life-changing opportunity that exists in Bakersfield College football, man. As a recruiter, I've had to go and sit on couches and try to explain to people how if your kid comes here and does things the right way, the sky's the limit, and you can take advantage of those opportunities no matter where you come from if you're willing to put the work in. Seeing you have that conversation made my day yesterday as I was preparing for high school broadcast, because I'm like, man, it's great to see the guys come back and give that juice back to these guys that are currently in that process and in that mode right now, man. I applaud you. I've watched you over the years, but watching you live the life and be the example that you are this week for the players, man, that was beautiful, bro.
Well, I appreciate you, Kenny. And honestly, getting that call from you and, coming from you was an honor for me, because everyone knows your name here. And, and just coming behind you into this Hall of Fame, it's a pretty awesome deal. And I'm super honored because of just the place and the school and what it's done for me in my life. And I try to reiterate that in my speech a little bit and just answering some of the questions that night. But, yeah, it is important to me, to talk to these guys and just kind of give them my testimony of why this is so so important and so important to me. And, I wanted them – it didn't matter. I was speaking it with passion, and I was speaking it with truth and hopefully – impacting somebody, at some certain level, just to take full advantage of this, man. It's a great opportunity that they have.
Absolutely, man.
So we had an offensive pass interference. That's why we had a 3rd and long here. It doesn't look like Cerritos is going to have enough. They're going to send out the punting unit.
Good.
And so when you again, they talked about it. Coming from Ontario, coming down here to Bakersfield, don't know kind of what to expect, but overall, what was your first impression about really the history of Bakersfield College? Because you come in here, you probably had to look at a map to figure out where you were going to go when you were coming here.
Yeah.
But then when you get here, you see this stadium, and then you hear about all the history. Well, what was kind of your impression on that?
Well, honestly, I don't think a lot of people know, the story of, how I got here. And I went to a Michigan State camp and, obviously at Michigan State, and went there and, had a good camp. And the coach was like, hey, listen, we love you. We want to offer you, but we know you're not going to clear the clearinghouse. There's a great program in Bakersfield, California under Coach Chudy, and we would love to send you there and see what you could do in 2 years. And, and look at you then. And, I was like, okay, it kind of just breezed me by. JUCO was kind of an upsetting moment at the time because, I thought I was maybe able to clear the clearinghouse. And then, so knowing that I couldn't clear, Boise comes in, watch me play basketball, and they say, hey, listen, we know we can't get you now, but, there's a great program out in Bakersfield College under Coach Chudy, and we would love for you to go there. And I was like, wow, this is only 2 coaches I've ever talked to personally, from the Division I level, and they both mentioned Bakersfield College in Bakersfield, California, under Coach Chudy. And I was like, okay, well, that's just kind of a sign, and talked to Coach Chudy, and happy that they welcomed me with open arms, and just had an amazing 2 years playing football in this program, and enjoyed the crap out of it. As far as the history and what I got to see, coming in, it's words can't match.
I love hearing that because Chudy was the guy that came and talked to me in the same moment. I wanted to play offense coming out of high school, and had my sights set on being in a different environment. And
that's why we're number 85.
Right, and Coach Chudy was the guy that said, look, if you trust me, I'm going to send you exactly where you want to go. And he did exactly that. The concepts and schemes that we were taught as Bakersfield College guys were parallel to the pro experience, from reading the quarterback's drop and reading the tight end's hat, from a corner perspective, and looking at the guard's hat for run or pass as a corner. Like, we weren't taught this kind of stuff in high school, but Coach Chudy was a scientist of the game, man. He wasn't a very nice guy to most people.
What?
But he had a great
Chudy.
way of telling you what you needed to hear, and if you trusted him, you went exactly where you needed to go.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100% on that. And I obviously came here with the expectations to play tight end as well. And he told me right away, he's like, yeah, you can play tight end, but if you go pro, you're not going to make as much money as playing defensive end. And he's like, I think you're going to get a lot better looks coming out of here playing defensive end. So.
And look how right he was, man.
Yeah,
he was so right.
That's right.
And you hate it when he was right sometimes because you got your own idea. You think you a grown man. and he ends up being right, man. He's one of the most right people I've ever met.
Okay, and tell me if I'm wrong, Tyrone. Did you get a chance to be up here when Coach Thorpe was here?
Yes.
Okay, we got to talk about this.
Absolutely.
We got third down. Watkins is going to get tripped up, and he's going to get stopped short of the first down. So we might see, and we are going to see Ethan Aronson back out with the punt unit. Okay, all 3 have now played for Coach Thorpe. I played for him in high school.
Yep.
He played for him in middle
Junior
school.
High. My first coach. He bought my first pair of cleats.
I personally got coached by Thorpe. And, I will never forget a moment, and I still do the same drills that he taught me with young guys today.
That's awesome because he may not be listening to this right now, but I'm going to make him listen to it later on. He's probably out at the Duck Club right now because duck season starts a week from today. So he's the president of his Duck Club out there. And I can tell you he would always talk about just the simplest techniques that he would try to instill in all of his guys that were here at BC so that this way everything else more complex just seemed much easier to get. He said, if you got that little foundation, I could teach you anything.
Yes. He never Coach Marinelli, my NFL coach and my longtime D-line coach that I had pretty much my whole career.
Rod
had a saying,
Marinelli.
and he said, how would he say it? He would say, the simplest, he would say, continuous reps of the simplest movements. And that's kind of Coach Thorpe never said it, but he did it, you know. And then he always had us, you know, continuously repping the simplest movements and making it kind of a habit. So when the game came, it was bow, bow, bow.
Yep.
Get to the quarterback. And I owe him a lot. And, you know, I don't mention his name enough, but he is definitely one of my favorite coaches of all time.
Big pass play over the middle for Cerritos, and they're going to get it up to about the 45-yard line. Big first down for Cerritos. They keep driving.
What I love most about Coach Thorpe, when I met him in 1988, right? You know, I'm a skinny kid from the inner city, and here he is, a tobacco-chewing son of a gun that looked like he's from Mississippi. And Ole Miss is his favorite team, right?
And he lived on Jefferson Street.
Right, but he was the first person, like he bought my first pair of cleats when I showed up in tennis shoes, man. And he basically instilled that confidence in me from a perspective of someone who doesn't look like me that I can trust.
Right.
Everything that he told me was facts. And that's why I love Coach Thorpe, man.
So really quick, we're going to jump a little bit into the NFL. I don't necessarily mean to skip over, you know, the blue field up at Albertson Stadium there in Boise, but when you get to Dallas, what was that like walking in very first day in a training camp? Knowing you made the club.
Surreal, man, because, you know, it's not only, you know, an NFL team. It's, you know, it's the Dallas Cowboys,
right.
America's team, and, you know, one of the best organizations. And not good.
Yeah, great separation right there by number 23, Song Bay Guinea. Kenny wore 23 here, so anytime somebody wears 23 here, he takes that as a personal
Kenny,
victory
your
right there.
Behind 23.
You know, 2-3 gang, man. I wanted to wear 21 because Deion was my favorite player. I couldn't get it, so I went with 23. Jordan on grass.
Okay.
Jordan on
You know,
grass.
we definitely tried to play at a high level with every snap and prove to people we were the best at our position at that time. Definitely love seeing players come through with the history and wear that same number.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as far as the Cowboys, yeah, I mean, man, it was surreal. And again, you know, like I try and say all the time, it was just a blessing. Honestly, it was a blessing to be able to be called, you know, by Jerry and the team there, and Steven and all those guys, and you know, for that and what it did for me and my family. You know, I'm super thankful, and you know, thank God every day.
You know, for me, I played in Arkansas at OBU, so I'm an Arkansas College guy, and Jerry has a great relationship. Cliff Harris played at my alma mater, and my roommates ended up being in training camp when we were rookies. And so when you were drafted, first down,
big pass inside the 5-yard line. And I can tell you, these DBs right now wish they had Kenny Calvin out there.
Right, but we'll get this point out since we're getting rolled up right now. But my first calls after you got drafted came from my teammates in Arkansas, happy that the Cowboys drafted a Bakersfield guy.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, man, this is amazing, man. You know, I'm calling. I end up at training camp in Oxnard at the same time as you in your rookie year, but so much going on, we didn't get to connect. But that was the moment I was like, man, this is beautiful. You know, the tradition of Bakersfield College continuing to elevate. And though I haven't met him, this is my bro. This is my little bro. And now I'm calling everywhere trying to track you down, man. So to have these moments with you is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that rookie training camp, I was kind of in a world when I still, you know, like one of the hardest years of my life, but all worth it. You know, learned a lot that year. Had a lot of good veterans that taught me the way. And yeah, went on to play 9, so it was fun.
And
Well,
that's
we're proud
awesome.
of
I
you,
mean,
man.
shoot, that's about 3 times what the average career really is. And we had a holding that was on that last play, was able to bring that back. So on this big play that we had inside the 5, fortunately we had a hold that brought it back. So we're going to have a second down and about 14.
That's
so
good.
we're going to we'll kind of end this so this way you can get back down, enjoy being celebrated and homecoming and all that. And hopefully Renegades are going to be able to come back. We know you do quite a bit still in your retirement. I have a close relationship with, and I'm not a Cowboys fan myself, but the fan club here, One Star, One Family. We know that you've
Down.
big
Great play.
hit right there.
Huge shot.
We know you've come back and you've given back even into this community, knowing that you have ties to Bakersfield. How much of that really for you is something that you feel like after your playing career is something that will continue to keep the game in you? Because it's really hard. From what I've heard, professional athletes, once they're off the field, you can't seem to find that thing to really, get you going and driving you besides your family.
Yeah. I mean, and fortunately, I have a great family around me and a great brother, where we've gone into business together, and we do hardscapes, landscapes in the North Dallas area, and luckily and thank God we've done really well, at the beginning of this thing. So we're thriving and we're busy and we're doing good. My mind is on pretty much go mode and football mode, I guess, if you would say. But this places like this in Boise and my high school and places that changed my life are my motivation. I want to be one of those big time guys. Those billionaires, so I can come back and drop $100 million and do it school.
We would love it, and just let Kenny know whenever you're ready, and we'll be around for that. But Tyrone, it's been a pleasure, man. We don't every year we do the Hall of Fame. We try to get a lot of our luminaries in here, and I can say it was a first time, or really second time besides Dr. Stott, who's around all the time, that we've had a former NFL guy up here to be able to do this. So we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Wish you all the best luck in the future. God bless you. God bless family.
You as well.
And we appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we love you, man. Never underestimate the impact you have on people, man, just by being yourself. And one of the quietest guys at the table, Julian Wilson, former Fresno State Bulldog, undefeated seasons, preaches positivity and just being the best version of yourself by doing great things for people, man. And it's no coincidence that you guys are sitting together, because that's a great man, and I see greatness in you, man, so we're proud of you.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. I just don't mess with Fresno's.
I had to sneak that in.
Yeah, they spit on me, man. Them fans spit on me.
All right, Tico, we love you, bro.
Fresno people are a little different than Baco.
I hear that.
All right, Tyra.
Thank you guys so much.
Take it easy, brother. All right, we're going to get right back into action here as Cerritos continues to drive.
I think the team was waiting for us to finish Mr. Crawford's interview, too, so we can start playing. As soon as you get back down there, we'll be tied up, TC.
So here we go. We've got, and again, we'd like to thank Tyrone for that, and for you listeners. I know we got a little bit off base here. It is still 14-0 with about 9.5 to go in the second quarter. Cerritos is at the 26-yard line on the Renegade side of the field. They've been fortunate to have a couple of penalties that have brought it back. So those of you tuning in on YouTube, fortunate enough to continue to watch it as Jeremiah Calvin looks over the middle. His pass is incomplete, but now we've got a penalty. It looks like it's in the area of a potential holding right at the feet of Songbae Ginyu.
It's one of those things from an energy perspective. Flat first quarter, homecomings can be like that. So much celebration and getting things together. We did get a message from the studio that we may have had some mic issues with Mr. Crawford's mic. Hopefully that was able to click in. But ultimately, from a team perspective, we're now in the second quarter of a football game with 9 minutes to go. And the energy is horrible. We got to find a way to get some stops and figure out how we want to establish ourselves on the second half of this season.
So here we go. Cerritos got a defensive holding penalty against the Renegades. It's going to be half the distance of the goal and an automatic first down from the 11. They give it to Kaysen. Kaysen off right side. He's going to look towards the pylon, and it looks like he's going to get there if he didn't step out of bounds, but he did not. Touchdown, Cerritos. And I tell you what, this looks exactly like the records that they came into with. You got a team that's ripped off 4 wins in a row, tons of momentum, and a team that's lost 3 in a row, and it seems like they have not recovered from a couple of quarters ago.
Well, I mean, their last loss was to Mount Sac, and that's one of the best teams in the state. Since then, they've averaged about 50 points a game. So you can't come into a game flat against a team that's rolling. These guys have all the intention on the world of embarrassing you, and that's one of the things that I say from a player standpoint, you have to internalize that and play with some pride. I'm not seeing pride when guys are dropping balls 3 out of 4 pass plays when guys are blowing coverages on the back end. those things aren't coaches' mistakes. Guys, players have to play with intensity and pride, and otherwise you're going to be the one that's embarrassed and have to listen to me and you talk about what we're doing next week because nothing's happening on the field.
And speaking of rolling, right when you said that, the deep snapper for Cerritos actually rolled the snap to the holder, and he still got it up and in.
Because it's low energy. No one on the defensive side of the ball is playing with intensity to come through the line. Everybody's just going through the emotions. And this is one of the things that's the hardest part of our job.
Right.
We want to be the most positive people in the building when it comes to a broadcast, but we're also responsible for calling it like we see it. And right now we're playing with some very flat energy.
Oh, and Shanks gets nailed. And I'll tell you what, number 10 for Cerritos, Rocky Jack, was able to bring the noise right there. And I tell you what, he is right now just a microcosm of the Cerritos energy right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a beautiful thing from them from a football perspective. I love the energy that they're playing with, doing a lot of things very well on both sides of the football in all three phases after that tackle.
Jack had so much energy, by the way. He decided to stay out there on defense, and they finally had to tell him, hey, get off the field. You're not on this unit. So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Ball is given to Bubba Nettles. Nettles off left side. He's got a lot of space. He's at the 35-40, 45-50. He's going to get pushed out of bounds at the Cerritos 42-yard line. That's the energy you like to see.
And that's the energy we always get from a Bubba Nettles. He's the one player that's going to make sure he's playing with high intensity and passion in every opportunity. And that's a nice job trying to get a spark going.
Brought down at the 43-yard line. Big gain right there of 38 yards for Bubba Nettles. Nettles stays in the game. He's behind Woods out of the shotgun. Tight set here for this offense. Fakes the handoff, gets it out into the flats to Dylan Johnson, but he was not able to come up with the catch. And I can tell you this is probably pass number 5 that have hit the hands of Renegades players, and I'm talking also about on defense as well, in which we were not able to come up with a catch. 21-0 Cerritos in the second quarter with 8.5 to go. They are trying to spoil and doing a really good job of spoiling this homecoming for Bakersfield College.
Yeah, that 30 front. We got to get some run game going. And I love that play because this is the situation that you have from a Cerritos defense. They're running a 30 front, daring you to run the football. You cannot continue to throw into that 3-4 defense because they got extra bodies underneath that safety.
So after a 6-yard gain, we're going to have a 3rd and 4 from the Cerritos 37-yard line. Woods hands the ball off to Nettles. Nettles off right side. He's going to get close to the first down. Probably going to be stopped at about the 35, 2 yards shy, and already down 21-0. I'm not too sure that this isn't going to be pretty much 4-down territory for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and what Cerritos is doing with that 30 front, they're dropping a linebacker from each side based on flow. Great job getting what you can get, 4th and 2.
And that linebacker's almost look as if he's timing the snap to be able to make sure that he's spying the running back is able to get and beat him to the edge. So here we go, 4th down for the Renegades. Jernigan in the game behind Woods. Woods out of the shotgun, standing at his own 40-yard line. Nettles. Oh, and this is going to be a broken play. Jernigan was supposed to go to his left. He went right. Woods was only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to be a turnover on down. Cerritos will have it at their own 34-yard line.
Self-inflicted wounds take away opportunities, and you're giving the football back to one of the hottest offenses in Southern California.
Again, got to give a shout-out to everybody here who showed up for the tailgate. I want to welcome everybody. Despite all the construction going on with the nice new dorms that are getting set up right here on the University Avenue side of the intersection.
Kudos to the staff members working the parking lot.
100%.
Ticket takers, helping everybody get where they need to be. Right now, we need to get where we need to be and make a play defensively because he got to step.
The new quarterback is Nick Miali, and Miali's pass is incomplete. Got Calvin out of the game, up 21-0. Not too sure if they're just trying to work some things out with Miali.
I mean, right now it looks like they at Burger King having it their way, so they might as well give their backup an opportunity, see if he can flip some patties.
Miali is a 65% passer coming into the game with 399 yards in the air, 5 touchdowns as well, too. He had a 69-yard pass last game. Now we hand the ball off to Romeo Clark, and Romeo is going to get up to the 45-yard line and a first down. Looks like tackle made by Songbae Ginyu.
Boy, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle because he made the linebacker miss in the hole. And had Songbae not made that tackle, he's made two touchdown-saving tackles already.
With 6.5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Again, another one of those Frontier Titans, championship Frontier Titans. Again, the ball given to Clark. Clark is going to head out of bounds, forced out of bounds. Once again, Ginyu. And again, Songbae's had a really good last 3 weeks. He's also been grading out really high, according to Tyler Thompson. He's really proud of the young guy.
And one thing about guys like Songbae, the scoreboard doesn't dictate your success. Coaches see that motor in the way that you're playing, and that's how you earn a 4-year scholarship opportunity. He's flying around. 2nd and 10. Got to get our hand on something. Let's get a hand on something and create a turnover.
Miali fakes the handoff, and his pass is incomplete. It was intended for number 2, Charles Clinton II.
You know, sometimes as a team, you see things not going your way, it's very easy for your body language to change, and now you're just ready to accept defeat. But this is a lot of football left to be played. We need guys out there that are continuing to willing to lay it all out on the line and make plays to generate some energy. Just like Bubba Nettles' play the last drive on offense, we need that kind of play on defense right now to establish something. Shotgun double set for Cerritos.
Cerritos only 2 of 7 tonight from third down. Miali's going to rush to his right. He's out of the pocket. His pass is going to be intercepted by Aiden Moreno. If he caught it, it's going to be down. Now we've got a flag.
That's going to be an interception.
But
that's going to be an interception. They're marking that football right there, and I didn't see anyone say it was incomplete, so they're going to have to call that as an interception. And right as we needed it, Moreno making a play. Put a hand on something. Driller.
He put 2 hands under something right there.
The young driller making a play. That's the kind of play you need when you're struggling offensively. Defense has to step up and create a play. Errant throw turns into an interception, and now the offense has to execute. Can't continue to make excuses for not getting things done. We got to make a stand offensively and get something done after that turnover.
So this is something that, you know, referees also go back and look at the film as well, too. I'm not sure if the referees have this correct here. They called this a helmet-to-helmet block. They said against the offense, pointed towards Bakersfield College's way. It seems like this is a penalty that happens because it's a personal foul. It happened within the play. But if Aiden Moreno was down on the ground, intercepted it, picked it back up, you're down wherever you're down at. He kept on with the play. That would normally be a dead ball, unnecessary roughness call. So, again, even referees need a little bit of help out there. Nonetheless, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Renegades are going to have it at the 31, would have had it at the 46.
And that has to be driving Coach Thompson crazy because if there's no return, there's no penalty.
Right, this is
the flag
essentially
should be picked up because the ball should have been dead at that spot where they had it spotted. Now, if you're going to call that a penalty, you have to go until the end of the run where he was, where that block happened, and mark it back. But nonetheless, 1st and 10 Renegades.
Fakes to Jason Grant. Now got Jaheim Alexander. Alexander breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet. He's still on his feet. Spin move. Now at the 50-yard line. He's across midfield and at the 48. First down, Renegades.
Great job by Alexander with yards after contact, making up for that drop earlier that he had with some great effort, and those are the energy plays we need. 1st and 10, Renegade.
Reminiscent of CJ Little Jelly Roll Tolbert from last year.
Oh, man. Oh, how I missed Tolbert, man. He was a third down machine.
Yes, he was. Again, first down or touchdown. That's what he was. Woods out of the shotgun. Jason Grant in. Centennial High product. We got Alexander in motion. Ball is given to Grant. Grant up the middle. Good hard 2 yards, maybe 1, up to the 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Dangerous exchange right there for Woods as you had that blitzing linebacker off the edge. Gets it off. 2nd and 8. You know, so this defense of Cerritos is led by Rocky Jack. He's a player that flies around. But they have a lot of guys that get to the football fast, and that's why that was a 2-yard run as opposed to what it could have been.
Ball spotted at the 47. Got about 4.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Woods hands the ball to Grant. Grant right up the middle. He's at the 40, 35, spins and is down. And I'll tell you what, that was Cam Scadaboo-esque right there. Went full force, then spun in the middle of the air, but got the first down for the Renegades.
One of the greatest Kern County All-Stars I ever covered on my time as a Kern High Network broadcaster. You need somebody with heart and passion. You can definitely put him in the game for a spark, and that's an example of that. 1st and 10.
And we're talking about a running back room that goes about 5 deep. You still got Britton Brown that's down there, who's had a handful of carries so far this year. Is Alexander got a high snap. Woods is going to fall on it, and he's going to be down at about the Renegade 46. So this is going to create a 2nd down and really long.
SIW, self-inflicted wounds. That's all I'm going to say every time it happens from now on because it keeps happening over and over again. SIW.
Whew. Well, now the Renegades back at their own 46. They need to get to the 24-yard line. They need to get up to the 24-yard line in order for them to get a first down. The ball's passed out in the flat to Ben Spears, who gets tackled out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 7. And now it's going to be 3rd and 23 now for the Renegades. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a 23-yard play right here, this is where you call it.
Yeah, I mean, really you just want to focus and try to get something out of this experience. Get half of this.
Go for it on 4th from maybe the 30.
Right.
Here we go. Woods looks up, passes over the middle, and it's dropped by Alexander. 5th offensive drop so far today for this offense, and here comes the punting unit.
Yeah, and he's putting it right in the breadbasket, as they call it, hitting them in right in the middle of the stomach for some makeable opportunities. Got to admire Carson Woods and where he's putting I almost said basketball, how they dribbling it down there. but you got to make the play, guys. I mean, we need 23 yards. He run a great route on the slant, and the ball hits you right in the midsection.
Talking with a lot of the coaches, they were really focused in on this wide receiver core and let them know that they were going to be a big key into the second half of this season if they wanted to be able to turn this around. As they've got a great pump from Aronson, going to get it inside the 10-yard line, touchdown at about the 7. Great special teams play right there for the Renegades, and maybe hopefully something to flip this field.
Yeah, you know, again, the defense was able to make a play last drive, which was admirable. You know, we have to find a way now to turn these touches into scores. We're getting opportunities defensively. Now we got to take it a next step and turn these touches defensively into scores.
So now we got Jeremiah Calvin back out there on offense with 2:25 remaining in the second quarter. The Renegades are hoping to be able to get this ball back on a 3-and-out without a whole lot of time running off the clock. Renegades still with 2 timeouts remaining.
You got to tackle here.
Given to Kaysen. Kaysen is going to rush it up to about the 13-yard line.
And on to number 6, Josh Cason.
It's brought down by number 88, Carson Moore,
Now,
out
so
of Palos Verdes.
with this opportunity, with 2nd and short, don't be surprised you see young Calvin taking a shot down the field, catching these defensive backs sleeping. You got to be situationally aware, and that's where a timeout comes in to talk about it.
So we're going to give this board and the board downtown a little bit of a break on this 2-minute timeout right here on Current News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. All right, here we go. 2nd down and 4 from the 13-yard line. Renegades are trying to get a stop right here. We got Va'a in motion. He gets that jet sweep, and it's going to be sniffed out. Once again, Tyler Lewis comes up with a fantastic tackle. Again, we've been talking about this kind of energy on the defense. How many times, and I got to ask you, Kenny, how many times did you know that the offense was struggling on your team and you thought, Coach, line me up on offense?
I mean, we begged for it. Like, you know, because there's definitely a lot of talent on the defensive side of the football. Most guys play both ways. Sometimes you're just looking for a spark. Very rarely it happened. Shout out to coaches for letting me run fake punts. I got 3 offensive touchdowns.
3rd down, Calvin gets it out, and it's going to be incomplete to Cason. Going to leave 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Cerritos going to punt it away. We're going to try to see if Dejon Shanks has anything. He's going to be standing near midfield.
You know, it's a lot of amazing people do some amazing things. I got a couple of my amazing coworkers just came up. One of my fellow Sam units. Shout out to my man Art, number 7 in the building in the Dameron deck.
And also shout out to the voice of Bakersfield Sports right here too, Vance Palm.
The legend
is gracing us with his presence up here on the Dameron deck. And we got nearly a block kick. Shanks is going to have a lot of time catching at the 35-yard line. He's going to have to make a couple of moves. He's going to take it down to about the 47-yard line. There's going to be about 63 seconds left, 64 seconds left on the clock for the Renegades to try to do something. And this is where in years past might be a little bit questionable as to what we're going to do. But to be able to at least have Carlos Villa on the sideline, to be able to get at least 3 points on the board, that's at least a consolation.
Going back to that punt, we got to have greater energy off the edge right there. If you go and attack that angle, you can get a block right there. He kind of got scared. You can't be scared. Got to attack the football right there. But 1st and 10 Renegades.
Woods out of the shotgun, looks over to his left. He gets it to Spears. Spears is going to make one guy miss, but he gets it up to about the 46-yard line for a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Renegades again with 2 timeouts. Clock continues to move at 50 seconds.
You know, we got the legend VP back up here. Great to see you, VP.
Here we go. Woods hands the ball off to Jernigan. Jernigan up the middle, and ball is loose. Renegades are going to be able to fall on it, but this is a perfect opportunity to call a timeout if they want it. 31 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts going. Now they're going to call a timeout with 27 seconds remaining.
All right, well, I mean, 3rd and short. You definitely didn't want to try to do something too quick and get a ball back if you didn't make it. But at this point, you got to be aggressive to try to go in without a goose egg in this first half. But while we got a quick break, you know, VP, is definitely great seeing you, big bro. You know, we prayed for you, you know, and watched you go through what you went through and seeing you come back strong, man. We definitely grateful for you.
Yeah, definitely, man. shoot, Tom even said it. It ain't the same when he has to go fly solo on that pregame show. And I know you were itching to get back, man.
Yeah, it's never comfortable. First of all, thanks for the time up here, guys. It's
Absolutely.
some pretty special memories. I was just talking to Annalisa in 08. We started down below, and it was 118 degrees by the second quarter, and so we decided to come up here, and it's been a beautiful thing, and you guys do such an amazing job. Love listening to you.
Appreciate that, man. So we got 3rd and 2 from the 45, 29 seconds. They put a couple more seconds on the clock. Woods rolls to his right. Now he comes back left. Ian Jernigan with a lot of blockers. He's going to be at the sideline. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Renegades.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, VP. Thank you, VP.
You're welcome, Renegade fans. You're welcome.
Big journey. Said he had big things planned, VP. I talked to him last week, and he had some amazing plays as he hurled over guys a couple of weeks ago. Just looking for his opportunities.
Part of this equation with these Renegades is, man, all the pieces are there, but you can't put the puzzle together if you're dropping footballs and fumbling footballs. And I think, one of these scores like this, right going into the half, boy, this can do a lot for their confidence.
VP, you make a great point, because that's what we just said before you got up here. People want to blame coaches when we lose games, but when you got guys dropping 3 out of 4 balls on your first drive and dropping balls that turn into interceptions, those are player mistakes. We have to execute as players. We were all players. We have to be accountable.
Carlos Villa out to attempt the extra point. Perfect so far for extra point attempts. Hold, down, kick is up, and it is good. 18 seconds remaining on the clock, 21-7. And that's the spark that we've been asking for, Kenny, to be able to get into the locker room with some points. And we were just talking about it before. Kenny even said it. There's sometimes when he's seen the offense struggling, he's like, on defense, can I get in the game? Get me out there to run a route.
Last night called a football game between the two powerhouse programs, and the first quarter, you had a team in Liberty that just did everything right, and one of the things they did was kept the football for almost the entire first quarter, so the defense for Frontier was so beat down. What do? They flipped the script. In the second quarter, they took care of the football, Frontier did. I'm just bringing a high school game in. The bottom line is they didn't fumble, they didn't turn it over, they just grounded out. And I think with this Renegades team, and me talking with Coach last week, the bottom line is let's take care of the football and not give away opportunities. At this level, fellas, you give away opportunities, you're going to pay.
Yeah, I mean, VP, we talked about that week in and week out. Prior to the bye week, you can't have games with 5 turnovers against a poor team, let alone the top 5 teams in the state.
Carter Kolsar out of Tehachapi, going to have a deep kick, and that's going to be taken at the 1. It's number 7, Rocco Caldarella.
Look out.
Caldarella is going to be able to escape a tackle, but finally Thomas Shanks out of Florida was able to track him down from behind with 11 seconds, see if Cerritos is going to actually do something or take a knee. Yeah, I was watching that game while I was up watching BCHS in Highland, and I took a look at Kern High Network, and I'm thinking, oh, man, Liberty's got something for Frontier, 20-0. And I'm thinking, okay, this might get ugly. But I talked to Coach Bandy at the Hall of Fame, and I said, what do you think? And he's like, it's kind of hard to say because both of us got beat up a little bit in the preseason, or at least non-league play. Now we're coming in. And he's like, but it's always just a good rivalry. You can throw the records out when Liberty and Frontier play. So
Stretch play to the right.
Kaysen going to get tripped up. He's going to try to get out of bounds. He does with 5 seconds to go. So we're going to have at least one more snap.
I had a good one last night. Independence at Ridgeview. Ridgeview's defense played very well and didn't allow a point in the first half. But sadly, the defense of Independence scored 22 points. It was 22-0. No points on offense from the Falcons. And then they just started pouring it on in the second half.
So they are now in victory formation. They're going to get into the locker room. But, it was awesome to see you there the other night. Vance back on the mic yesterday up here, giving us some good juju and getting on the scoreboard, 21.
We needed you, VP.
21-7 as we head into the locker room. And thanks, VP.
My pleasure, fellas. Have a great call.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some halftime action here on Curd News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on Renegades Athletics on YouTube.
I'll bring you in. You're okay. It's hot. It's hot. I got something else running.
Beep, 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 beep. To halftime coverage of Bakersfield College Renegades football right here on Kern News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube, the Bakersfield College Athletics channel. Rob Chavez and the Hall of Famer Kenny Calvin. We've got Dr. Julian Wilson, Jesse Sanchez, Steven Sparky, Nicholas downtown.
Fins up.
Hi, yeah, fins up for that guy right there. And also, go Big Blue. Took down them Eagles on Thursday. Win. And I'll tell you, again, just tell you how high I was riding Friday morning. a little snapshot before we get into some of the football analysis here in the first half. But, yeah, your guy here was watching Garces Water Polo. My daughter's a goalie for them. They beat Liberty 23-3. But I also had the Dodgers on and see that final play and them advance to the National League Championship Series. And, oh, by the way, at the same time, the Giants were beating the Super Bowl champion Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Then I get to go to the Hall of Fame, spend some time right over there. And what do I find out when I get home? My East Bakersfield High Blades get off the schneid. They get their first win of the year. Congrats to Coach Nick Romero and his staff. I know
Coach Roberson.
Coach Roberson is over there as well too, and company.
Brandon.
I'll shout them all out. Yeah, Coach Davis, Coach Bland. Who else do we got up there? Oh man, I know I'm gonna mess the. Oh, Coach Kenny Holmes is over there as well too. So a big shout out to all those guys.
You can see the emotion in Coach Romero's eyes.
100%.
My favorite thing at the end of his interview was
BC,
them
former
showing
Renegade.
showing his resume
over there.
and how he's got to this point. And you get your first win as a head coach, and you finally have that joyous moment with your players. You see the emotion in his eyes. That was beautiful.
So overall, a good Thursday night. But we will tell the story of this first half as Cerritos is up 21-7 here at Homecoming 2025 over the Renegades. Although the Renegades were able to punch one in, if let's say we were the play-by-play guys for Cerritos, you would probably like to say, look, we dominated that half. We let one sneak in with that big touchdown run or that catch from Ian Jernigan down the sideline with student body left. But overall, they really did. 14 first downs for Cerritos, BC with 4. They held BC to 1 of 7 from third down efficiency. Now, Renegades defense not too bad. They held Cerritos to 2 of 9, but Cerritos has converted 2 of 2 on fourth down, kept drives going.
Yeah, the quarterback play was superior in that first quarter by Calvin, but really for me it was just the body language and energy, and that can happen sometimes in celebrations. Like, you got NFL guys walking around and they giving you pregame speeches. Some of these kids get a little starstruck and don't have their usual mojo. And we joked about it as Crawford was up here. It was like, hey, I think the team is listening to the interview right now. There's not a lot of energy on the playing field, but as soon as he left the Dameron deck and got down there in the same arena, here comes some energy. And now we get the big play on the throwback screen to Jernigan, Big Journey, who's definitely showed some promise in this first half from his individual perspective. I love the insertion of Grant, giving another guy an opportunity to play, because he brought some energy and had a couple of nice runs on that scoring drive that put us in a position.
And you'd like to think that also gave, Jernigan a little bit of a blow. He was on the sideline for at least about 7 minutes of real time. Comes out on the field, very first play, boom, there he goes to the house for a little over 45 yards.
Right, and Bubba Nettles with the long play as well. Just needing something from the guys that are always going to play at a high energy level to create a spark, and that was definitely what we needed before going into the half, because, that was a total – I don't know if I've seen a flat quarter like that in a while. I mean, a couple weeks ago we had a disastrous third quarter, but it wasn't as flat. It was high energy and great play. This was just a flat first quarter, and now with this second quarter and the way that we ended, hopefully we can find a way to bring that energy out of the locker room.
Yes, 100%. And you know what the Renegade fans were looking for was, consistency with the quarterback position. Woods comes in, and you like to think, when you look back at these stats, you're going to see that, the Renegades weren't necessarily very efficient in the pass play, but that's because we had 5 drop passes in the first half.
And that's just unacceptable. We talked about finding accountability and being the best version of ourselves individually so we can help the collective goal. Can't do that when we're dropping footballs. You drop football, and all of the drops have been balls that are hitting them square in the middle of the numbers. Carson's putting it exactly where it needs to go. And that last one that turned into the interception, it was just frustrating because those are the things that are fundamental plays. Got to see the ball in, see it in, and tuck it in. And we're not doing that, and it's costing us.
And you heard, even from the newly inducted Hall of Famer, Tyrone Crawford, the whole point is to try to keep the defense off the field so this way they stay as fresh as possible. And that goes all the way up to the NFL level. As you can tell, when it comes to time of possession, that's usually where NFL games are won. So hopefully the Renegades are going to be able to make some adjustments in the second half. They are going to be getting the football as we open up the second half. Carson Woods, 6 of 12, 85 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. That was really a tip ball, another one of those drop passes from his receivers. Jadaniel Bubba Nettles, 4 carries, 47 yards, 11.8 per carry. But I think it's because they gave that long Jernigan leading the way, 1 catch for 45 yards, and that was the one that got the touchdown. Again, Jason Grant, 2 carries, 14 yards, and hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of him. We didn't see a whole lot of Corey Watkins, but maybe that will change here in the second half. And, of course, our man, probably the MVP of this team overall, Carlos Villa, knocking in his 14th extra point of the year. He is perfect so far. So we're going to take a quick timeout, come back, recap some of the other sports on campus here on Current News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube at Bakersfield College Athletics. And welcome back to halftime coverage of Bakersfield College Renegades football right here on Current News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube page. Rob Chavez and Kenny Calvin. Up here on the Dammer deck for homecoming 2025, Cerritos with a 21-7 lead going into the half. We're going to recap some sports here on campus as women's soccer got a couple of wins. Well, first of all, they got a big shutout win against Antelope Valley College yesterday, 4-0. So congrats to women's soccer. Women's golf placed 5th at the Encino Golf Course on Wednesday. So big shout out to our ladies out there in Encino. Also have some athletes of the week as well too for the Renegades. And again, having some technical difficulties here with that. Going to get right to it. So again, our Renegades athletes of the week. On the men's side, Alejandro Alvarez, a freshman forward, had an impressive performance in Friday's 3-1 home victory against Pasadena City College. He scored all 3 goals for the Renegades, recording that hat trick, becoming just the 3rd player in Bakersfield College men's history to achieve that feat. He currently leads the team with 7 goals. Hard to believe. Just the 3rd player in BC history, Kenny, to score 3 goals in a game.
Yeah, amazing effort. You know, you see some special things out of all of our programs. Gotta love it.
Maybe Alejandro Alvarez setting himself up for a Hall of Fame induction one of these days. Sophia
Absolutely.
Moody, women's cross country, is our women's athlete of the week. She earned her 2nd athlete of the week honor after recording a personal best of 19:57 in the 5K at the Bakersfield College Invitational. Moody's impressive time secured her a top 5 finish out of 58 runners, continuing an outstanding freshman season and leading the Renegades with another strong performance on their home course. Men's soccer is going to travel to Allen Hancock, which they did, and they got the win, and they were going to return against Cerritos College. And the Western State Conference Championship cross country is going to get started up here as well pretty soon at the end of the month. And I just wanted to be able to make sure because, of course, you've got a water polo dad here, Kenny. And, of course,
One of the most dedicated.
shout out again to Garces Water Polo.
I was at water polo working, and here comes my partner. And it didn't even register that your son's in the water right now.
Right, yeah, he was he was playing for my son plays for Highland, daughter plays for Garces. But water polo here on campus, big win. They avenged the football team by getting Pasadena, and check out this score, 17-2 over Pasadena City.
We needed that.
Yeah, we did. So fantastic to BC Water Polo, who got that win, and they did also close out the season yesterday. We're going to get the final score for that hopefully by the end of the broadcast. So we're going to take another quick timeout here on Kern News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube at the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube page. All right, here we go. Back at Bakersfield College Memorial Stadium for Homecoming 2025. Rob Chavez and Kenny Calvin. As we get kicked off here in the 3rd quarter, ball is going to sail into the end zone. It's going to be brought out by Dejon Shanks. Dejon is going to break a tackle. He's finally going to get up to about the 27-yard line. And again, the Renegades are looking to be able to sustain a drive here, stay on the field as long as possible, and get in the end zone to bring this within 1 score.
I mean, and for Woods, he's done some good things putting the ball where he needs to. The guys are going to have to help him out and make some plays. We saw what happened when a guy can hold on to the ball as Jernigan got the big score. Now we need the rest of the guys to catch up. 1st and 10.
Woods out of the shotgun, looks out in the flats. He has Ben Spears. Spears goes down. No, but it is dropped once again. We've got to say about 6 drops now today for this wide receiver core.
And when you're the young guy in the locker room and that keeps happening, every drop turns into a future opportunity loss. You have a lot of guys over there that can make that play. You continue to drop that football and Spears, and it's going to be a long second half of the season on the sideline by coach.
Second and 10 after the incompletion from 27-yard line. Give us to Ian Jernigan, and Jernigan gets leveled at about the 29-yard line, brought down by number 44, Adrian Castro.
The tough thing about drop passes, and we hate to keep harping on it, but it destroys the whole frequency of the offensive play calling system and sets you behind the chains. 3rd and 8.
Woods drops back. He's going to get pressured, and he's going to go down for a sack. And a quick 3 and out as number 45, Miles Merchant, was able to come up with the sack of Carson Woods. And here comes Ethan Aronson.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing for the coaching staff, because you worked on this first series the whole halftime. This is what we're going to do, guys. They're putting faith in you as a receiver to throw you the ball again on an early down play. And what does Coach Van Horn always say? Got to win the early downs, right? Shout out to our legendary coach that just left. We don't win the early downs, and it turns into a 3 and out. 9 times out of 10, you don't win first down, you're usually going to punt the football.
Low kick for Aronson, and it got a Gades bounce. We call that a renegade roll around here, and it gets down to the 31-yard line, where Cerritos will have their first drive of the second half, starting up 69 yards away from the end zone. And, Kenny, just wanted to recap. I mean, we had a fantastic
historic
first half of guest up here.
That was historic. We never had 2 Hall of Famers in one segment.
And, we got to be able to make sure we fit in sponsors for facilitating this. Carpet Outlet Plus, Pepsi, Luigi's, Hocking Denton Palmquist, Golden Empire Youth Football, Barbage Hooper, King Dill Hoffman, and the Bakersfield Californian. Shout out to Ryan Blystone for doing yeoman's work out there. He has been just absolutely killing it for the Bakersfield Californian.
Yes, he has.
Covering every sport. He was out at water polo, speaking of water polo, at the Garces Pool earlier in the week.
Ryan's an amazing journalist. The world of journalism is one of the most pressured professions, and he handles it like a champ.
Cerritos picks up 6 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 from the 38-yard line.
Shotgun double set.
Fakes the handoff, goes out in the flats, and that's Va'a, and he's going to get wrapped up by Tyler Lewis. And the cavalry comes.
Tackle.
So it's going to prevent that from being a first down, 3rd and 1. And again, in this situation, you got Jeremiah Calvin back out there. This is where you could see Calvin make his own play on his feet.
We've stopped him on 3rd and short before. This is going to be a key stop opportunity as well. Shotgun spread set.
From the 40.
Great discipline.
3rd and 1. Handoff up the middle. Kaysen's going to have a first down as he surges ahead to the 44-yard line and picks up 5.
Yeah, and you have a slow Cerritos player getting up, and he's going to be limping on a bad wheel.
We also have coming out of the game number 58, Mario Rivas. Looks like got a helmet malfunction. Also coming out of the game for Cerritos, number 63, Demetrio Sandoval.
All right, 1st and 10 for Cerritos. Renegades trying to find a way to get off the field. Shotgun spread set.
Renegades rush forward. They give it to Kaysen. Kaysen's going to get chased down behind. No, he doesn't. He's going to get out in space. And Aiden Moreno with a touchdown-saving tackle right there brings him down at the Renegade 32-yard line, 1st and 10, Cerritos.
Left side of that offensive line for Cerritos is paying dividends as they go to that sweep. Just amazing effort and block.
Jojo Apasala checking in the game for Cerritos in at tailback.
I mean, they got Alfonso Leomodi over there. He's 6'4", 330 pounds.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's pretty big.
Out of the shotgun, Calvin. They do the same thing. Oh, almost a interception by number 88, Carson Moore, a la Sexy Dexy from the New York Giants, who got him one against the Saints.
Amazing awareness to know that as flow goes away, you got to expect something coming back. He gets his hands up. I always say, get a hand on something.
And that was the same play that the Renegades ran to Jernigan that was able to go for 47 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, throwback screen. You try to go fast flow one way to get backers to flow. Just a great heads-up play by that defensive end. 2nd and 10.
Ball at the 32. Calvin looks right, looking up the seam. Now backside pressure. Ball is picked off. It's going to be not James Moon. Number 33, Drew Underwood. Big hit from behind by Carson Moore. And now we've got a penalty flag.
That's going to be a celebration flag, but nonetheless, well after the play. How about the hit from that defensive end, creating opportunities? And we talked about if offense isn't getting it done, we got to find a way to generate some energy plays. And how do you do that? Pressure off the backside turns into a big hit, and Calvin with the interception. That sounds familiar as well. Just the other way.
Just the other way, right. And I tell you, Calvin went all the way to the bench with his helmet on. Finally, he was able to sit down. And, you know, Kenny, in my classroom, you know, I teach over at East High, and I really encourage kids that when they do something good, I always tell them, are you showing off? And if they say yes, I say, good for you. That's what you're supposed to do. Because when you're doing something like this and you're going towards your sideline, they had their backs to Cerritos. They were celebrating with their own team right over there, and they called a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's going to be because Furtado threw the ball in the air. Some officials want you to throw it back to him, but again, it's an emotional game, emotional play. You gotta let that kind of stuff go as you see players having their best moments. Sometimes as officials, and officiating's a tough job, and I went to therapy to make sure I'm nice to them now. But you gotta not make it about you.
Bubba Nettles in on that carry, picks up about 3 yards to the 25-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 7. And one guy that I see out there is a guy that we talked to about a couple of months ago, Kenny, at that scrimmage, number 14, Ryan Simmons, at a Booker High in Sarasota, Florida. You get a bunch of guys that are out there dropping the football on pass plays. This is his opportunity. So number 14 lines up wide right, part of a twin set out to the right. Woods rolls. He looks up. He's got Simmons, but Simmons is going to be out of bounds when he made that catch. It was a good catch, good route. Problem was he thought it was in Canada where these fields were a little bit wider.
Yeah, got to squeeze that route down. You know, but the quarterback's putting it where only his guy can get it. And like we said, no mystery to me. When guys are dropping balls, you're going to end up on the sideline. And, hey, you got kids that were all-state guys sitting over there waiting on an opportunity that came 2,000 miles away, waiting to take that spot.
3rd and 7, ball at the 25. Woods out of the shotgun. Looks quickly on a screen, on a slant route. Now looks like it's going to be a pass interference against the Renegades. And I'll tell you, they had number 14, Larry Allen, not Dallas Cowboys Larry Allen out on that coverage, but he got his hand caught in the cookie jar right there.
Yeah, but I like the aggressive play call to go right back after that corner after he had some pretty decent coverage on the out route. You catch him sleeping. And how about the ball placement again for Woods? He's putting the ball where it needs to be, and that's what creates that pass interference opportunity as well.
So pass interference penalty is going to be from the spot of the foul, it looks like. So if that's the case.
Well, the chain should be moving no matter what's the case if it's pass interference, but we got them moving now, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Renegades. And here's a key opportunity. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. This isn't a new game. Execute on this drive. Put yourself in a position to be within 1 score.
As you hear the wind kicking up, it's moving from west to east. Woods out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Jernigan. Looks up, and he's got a man open, but he was just a little high for Dylan Johnson. But again, he had his hands on the football, and I know a guy that was just up here on the Dameron deck that said, you get a hand on it, that should be yours.
Yeah, he needed P-Rose hops right there, though. If you don't know who P-Rose is, that's Charles Wolfhawk, former Renegade, Potato Bowl champion back-to-back with me, but national champion as a CSUB road runner about 20 years ago. Man, it was more than that, 27.
No, try. Yeah,
Oh, my
maybe
goodness.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, 27. I was in Arkansas.
Big number 10. I used to watch him over at Griffith, man, and he was a load.
All right, so 2nd and 10 for the Renegades. Pistol spread formation. Missed opportunity. Let's see if we can get that back.
So as the clock runs out, there's going to be a flag on the play, and that's a. I tell you, right there, that's one of those. Those are one of those penalties right there that Coach Van Horn, you look over to the sideline. Again, we're going to talk about the Hall of Famer because this is his weekend. He would look over and say, get that ball snapped. We had the play. You know what it is. Line up, get it snapped.
Yeah, and again, SIWs, self-inflicted wounds,
Right.
taking you out of the rhythm. I mean, that's going to be one we're going to stick on our hip because we've had it happen too often, and we're coming up with catchphrases and not in a good way.
So now we've got 2nd and 12, what would have been probably a 2nd and 7. Simmons checking in the game for Johnson. 3rd and long. And we've seen in this situation, they've shown that they're going to pass, spread set, and they end up coming in with that counter play.
You know, you usually go screen and draw in these long situations.
There we go, Woods. On that screen pass to Nettles, and Nettles is going to get dropped for a loss way back at the 22-yard line. Disappointing drive after what was kind of a promising start to that. You get a penalty, extends the drive a little bit, gets you a 1st down, but then, you, like you said, you get that self-inflicted wound.
SIWs. You know, it's a tough thing when you're trying to find a way to be a rhythm-based offense. Like, we have our most success when we're playing in rhythm. Woods is having his opportunity to play a full game, just not able to find it so far.
Aronson out. It's a spiral kick, short and low.
Oh, that hit him. It looked like it did. Very close.
He barely got out of the way right there. Number 13, Trey Pinckney, was kind of out in no man's land, didn't know where the ball was going to go. So we get a 28-yard kick to the 50 or the 49-yard line, still on Renegade side of the ball. Again, you'd like to just think that at some point the Renegades are going to be able to find that magic like they did at the end of the half. Maybe we need to get VP back up here.
Don't tell him that. He'll be running up here.
Ah!
We just got him back healthy, man. We don't need him trying to make it back up here this quick.
And shout out to him for being able to get up here, too. This is a hike. We get the ball to number 28, JoJo Apasala. So we get the ball up to the 48-yard line. 2nd down and 9. So they're going to mark it at the 47, so 2nd and 8. Sosa in on that last tackle. Keelan Fanning checking into the game for the first time today for the Renegades. He's coming off an injury. And the pass is going to be picked. Tyler Lewis, he's going to be out in space. He's got Jeremiah Calvin to beat. Calvin forces him back inside in a tackle, and the Renegades are able to come up with yet another turnover.
You want something done right, you got to do it yourself. That's what I tell the defense. You got to find a way to keep generating that energy, because if you don't do it, we're dead in the water. Offensively, we're going to have those days. We have to take it from a whole team concept and generate plays. Great play by the underneath backer turns into an interception. 1st and 10 Renegades, let's score.
1st and 10 from the 45. Ball spotted at the Cerritos 45-yard line. Woods out of the shotgun, hands the ball off to Jernigan. Jernigan with a flea flicker. He's got a man open, and that pass is going to be incomplete. Oh, my goodness. Looking like that should have been a pass interference. Number 5 never had his head turned around. Jaheim Alexander was actually, that was Bubba Nettles out in space. That was what we were hearing from the offensive coaches on that reverse flea flicker, that they were going to see some razzle-dazzle and get some of their running backs out into space. But Woods just didn't get enough. But as you feel that wind and you hear that wind on these microphones, he was throwing it right into that eastern wind.
Yeah, hung up in there. I mean, he's not a quarterback. That was a long throw. Missed opportunity, 2nd and 10.
Got a blitz coming. Nettles on the right side, power. And we've got a penalty. This might be a face mask right here.
On the carry, number 31, Bubba Nettles. Runs out with number 33.
So now we've got a scrum in there. We got some players with their helmets off.
And another marker thrown down at the 43-yard line.
Well, let's get it organized. We'll see what's happening.
Nettles doesn't have his helmet on. And typically a flag like that in the middle of a play of a player going down, you'd like to think that that's, at least we're optimistically thinking, hopefully thinking that this is going to be a face mask. So on that interception, though, Kenny, Tyler Lewis has just been he has been Johnny on the spot. We talked about a guy a couple of weeks ago before the bye in Dylan Tooker. I brought that name up
That's
to Coach
my guy, one of my favorites.
To Coach Thompson. I brought it up to Coach Duncan. Brought it up to even Coach Dameron, who coached against Tooker, and he goes, they all said, we miss a guy like Dylan Tooker. And I asked Coach Thompson, is Tyler Lewis one of those guys? He said he's definitely a Tooker guy.
You know, same soil, same recipe for success for those guys. Guys that love the game, study, and fly around to the football. Sometimes you don't have to be right? But if you're flying in that direction, if you're going to be wrong going 100 miles an hour. That's what Coach would say. You know what I mean? It's basically just a high-level energy guy that's going to find his way to the football.
That's a 15-yard penalty resulting in a first down.
Wow.
Play is over.
Hey, how about that?
Number 62.
So we've got
15-yard penalty.
an automatic first down because of the face mask penalty, but then a dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty against BC. So it goes right back to where the end of the run was, but they pick up the first down because of the personal foul face mask call.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things. You just got to find a way to get through the mistakes and take advantage of them when they go against the other guy. You know, we had our mistakes early. Now it's our turn to take advantage of some of theirs. 1st and 10.
Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. Woods out of the shotgun. Fakes a handoff to Jernigan. Gets the ball over the middle to Alexander, but it was thrown at Alexander's feet. Now we've got a roughing the passer penalty. That's going to be 15 yards, and ball should be spotted at the 29-yard line. And one of the things that the Renegades have not done today, Kenny, and you might think I'm crazy, you might want to have to look back at these drives. You know where the Renegades have not been yet today?
In the red zone.
In the red zone.
Yeah. I mean, and it's one of those things that happens, but nothing like a good couple 15s to help get you down there. You take 30 yards of penalties in one drive, and all of a sudden you're putting yourself in a position to get a scoring opportunity. We haven't even really seen Carlos Villa do his thing other than the PAT. With 7 minutes left, this is the third quarter that's kind of going in slow motion, giving the Renegades an opportunity to get back in it.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line after the roughing the passing penalty. 2 receivers to his left. Morse, the tight end, more of an up back, and he lays a block for Jernigan. And Jernigan is brought down, but there's going to be a penalty flag. It might be in the area of holding by one of the receivers that was out there in lead block. And I'll tell you what, you can hear Renegade coaches from all the way up here after that penalty was thrown. Because there was a pickup of about 3 yards for Jernigan. Uncharacteristically, too, after seeing Jernigan hurdle over players in Pasadena, he ran right into a tackle.
I mean, he has to be aware that guys saw that film and want to make sure he ain't getting flipped. That earlier hurdle by Grant, the pirouette ballet style, was a little dangerous. You got to be careful trying to hurdle too much.
I'm sure Jernigan probably said, there's only one guy that could do that on this team, man. Come on.
Grant said he tried to get his in, too. Everybody, it's like when you were kids watching games. As soon as you had a commercial, you going outside and try to do it yourself. Twins right for the Renegades. Here's come pressure.
And now ball up the middle to Jernigan. Jernigan's going to bring it up to about the 31-yard line. Gain of 4. So now we're going to see 2nd and 12 from the 31. Renegades need to get to the 19-yard line. If they do, they get a first down and will be inside the red zone for the first time in this ball game. Remember, that touchdown, the lone touchdown for the Renegades was a 45-yard pass connection from Woods to Jernigan up the sideline.
You love what Jernigan's doing for the offense. He's being that constant that we can lean on right now. Now we use him as a distraction, and we throw it back to him. We got a chance, but it's picked off.
Short pass was picked off.
And he doesn't
Woods,
get him.
He's going to be down the sideline. Woods is going to be the only guy that can catch him, and Woods is not. Oh, he is going to get him at the 5-yard line. And all Woods had to do was put a little bit more air underneath it, because that safety right there, number 9, if I got it right, or is that number 4? Looks like it's number 4, Max Rankin. He jumped that route early once he seen it, but all Woods had to do, stick his foot in the ground. He had some time.
Yeah, I mean, great idea. But sadly, Jernigan isn't going to surprise anybody anymore. You're not going to be able to keep throwing it back to him. And that was just an underthrown ball and poorly executed on a great play. That was a great play call, but just a poorly underthrown ball. And you hear that wind, and you got to wonder if that affected the throw.
Trajectory, yeah, because he's done that a couple of different times. Underthrown Alexander on that flea flicker, and now this pass. So we got Kaysen looking for the pylon. He's going to get brought down by Carson Moore, drives him out of bounds.
Hey, but one thing Woods did, he didn't give up on the play. That offensive lineman should have made that tackle at the 50-yard line.
All he's got to do is
effort. All he had to do was get your head across the bow and push him out.
It's almost like it being spike strips for cops. Yeah. Just lay down, flatten the tire right there.
Kerr County activities. but in this moment,
shout out.
You got to give Woods credit for not giving up on the play. If we get this stop here, it keeps us in the game.
Shout out to Kerr County activities. Our first drop of the year so far for them as we get the run up the middle. Looks like he's close to a touchdown.
He's going to be short.
He'll be short. At about the 2-foot line is Apasala.
We try to have fun to avoid some frustration. We've been told in the past when bad things happen, when we get too angry, we want to try to be able to smile through some of these mistakes. But another offensive turnover leading to possible points for an opponent is not going to make too many Renegade fans happy.
3rd and goal, give up the middle to number 4, and it looks like that's going to be stopped short of the goal line. That was given to Romeo Clark. And now we got 4th and goal here, and this is a big pride down here for the Renegades. The Renegades have not stopped the Falcons on 4th down so far tonight. We'll see if they can get their first stop.
Be nice to get them to jump and false start right now. They're going to try touch push or something. The A-gaps.
That's Calvin. Calvin's going to give the ball once again, but now they're going to finally drive it in for the touchdown.
So again, points off turnovers. putting the defense in a bad spot. You know, we had some nice energy going in that offensive drive, but you turn it over with an interception on an underthrown ball, and it leads to points.
Yeah, again, we have fun up here, but as the great American poet Smokey Robinson used to say, people say I'm the life of the party 'cause I tell a joke or two.
Oh.
Yeah, the tracks of our tears are definitely happening up here on the Dameron deck. 28-7, Cerritos is up with 4:44 remaining in the third quarter. We're going to take a quick timeout and get back for this kickoff on Current News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and on YouTube, Bakersfield College Athletics.
Kids aren't.
And here we go. Back to the kickoff after Cerritos takes a 3-touchdown lead. Shanks takes it inside the end zone, brings it out. He's past the 30. He's up to the 35, and he's going to be brought down near about the 37-yard line.
Love the efforts of D. Shanks, man. He's doing a great job having some confidence and bringing that ball out, getting us some great field position. We're just not executing offensively. And it's becoming a theme that reminds us of, you know, a few seasons ago where you're doing some good things but not a whole lot of great things to get back into a game offensively. Got to find a way to avoid turnovers and be playmakers, man. I mean, it's Hall of Fame week, man. We just had Tyrone Crawford up here, Rick Van Horn, Player of the Year. You got players of the year in the building, man. Be the player.
Corey Watkins out of Athens, Georgia, gets the carry, takes it up a yard to the 38-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 9. And like you said, I'm going to stir up a hornet's nest here because I think some people may rewatch this broadcast. Coach Van Horn brought it up in the pregame show. He was talking about that season. He said, "But hey, I'm Player of the Year, but I came as Corey Watkins goes down with an injury." He said, I was Player of the Year because of the guys that I also played around. And
Absolutely.
He name dropped a bunch of guys on that defense that he was with. Coach Thorpe was one of them. Randy Maples, one of my good friends, and guy I coached with in baseball for a very long time. Coach Thorpe was also on that team as well too.
Yep.
But either way, these guys surrounded themselves with greatness as well too. So,
man, speaking of being surrounded by greatness, I got my Renegade teammate Andy Puget home, one of the greatest receivers in Foothill Trojan history, but champion. And one of my guys.
We need an Angie Puget out there to be able to catch a football and hang on to it.
I love you, Andy. You know, and that's the beauty of Andy coming up as we're talking about that kind of stuff. My Hall of Fame opportunity probably came because I had two teammates that went in before me, right? And they were there to witness me pour the same energy into the game that they poured into the game. So, you know, what make us great is the people that we surround us by, right? On the field and off the field.
And as Corey Watkins coming off, he's being carried off the field by a couple of teammates.
Man,
that doesn't look good.
That's not good. That's his first real opportunity of the night, too, as, you know, he's usually a guy that gets early opportunities. But going back to your point, you know, groups of great players, you need 3 or 4 guys that believe, and you can do some amazing things.
Again, ball goes off the hands of number 39, Christian Morse. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
You know, and the point that I'm making with that, great teams, you don't have one guy on great teams that turned into championship teams. You have groups of guys that believe in the process. And right now you got guys still trying to find their greatness. 3:57 left in this third quarter on an uphill battle, 3rd and 9.
Out of the shotgun, Woods looks up over the middle, and he's got Shanks. Shanks is in space. He stops a little short of the first down, but finally gets surged ahead to the 48-yard line, and he will have that first down.
I love the fact that they're going to Shanks, too. He's one of the guys that actually has continued to try to play and be a playmaker. You know, you got to give those guys that can be game breakers an opportunity. Long gone are guys like Derek Vickers.
Or even a Dom D'Amato, possession receiver. As we got Simmons in motion. Woods passes it to Jernigan. Jernigan in space, cuts back, but a good tackle right there. He was not going to be shaken. Number 21 for Cerritos was able to stay right there with Jernigan, Richard Munoz.
Amazing footwork by Munoz. One of the things we teach as defensive back coaches is speeding your feet on contact. Dead feet equals dead man. When you come up to that ball carrier, you keep your feet, get them chopping. You're not going to be juked if you're keeping those feet moving. You're going to be able to dance with them. He definitely was a nice duet right there. Second and 12.
I say get him chopping him, man. I started having these Vietnam flashbacks. Coach Thorpe. Jernigan up the middle. Jernigan cuts back. He's up the sideline. Stiff arms, but now we've got a penalty. And this is as Jernigan was about 7 yards past that flag.
And that's where you got to be disciplined as an offensive lineman. You're continuing to fight with a guy, and the ball is 9 yards past you.
Man.
And that's another setback for an offense that's trying to find himself.
But there was also another penalty as Jernigan was heading out of bounds, too. We're going to find out, hopefully for the Renegades, these are offsetting penalties.
Yeah, because if it's not, it puts the Renegades at a very unfortunate position. It was already second and long, and it was going to be third and short. But if both of those are on the Renegades, it's going to be tough.
So 2 fouls on the play. Got a personal foul. So illegal use of the hands for number 93. Dead ball penalty. Oh, and a late hit out of bounds. So this is going to be double assessed right here. We thought maybe a Renegades were going to get called for a hold. Turns out it was the defensive lineman for Cerritos that got his hands into the face of number 79, Brady Phillips. But hey, first down Renegades, first trip inside the red zone for BC.
I mean, and you talked about it. We hadn't been there. Very frustrating. You know, and it's a beautiful opportunity to get back into this game with 2:30 left to play on the homecoming.
Renegades chasing 3 touchdowns right here. They give the ball up the middle to Jernigan. Jernigan shot out of a cannon, and here comes the other cannon. Jernigan gets in. Touchdown, Renegades.
Boom! Had to hold off because we were wondering if that was a fumble across the goal line, but he was in. Touchdown for Big Journey. And how about the statement he's making, being the guy that says, hey, lean on me when things aren't going right. Put it on my back. We always talk about it being about the name on the front and not the name on the back, but when you're struggling, you need somebody that's going to say, hey, it's me time. Put it on my back, Coach. I got you. Touchdown, Renegade.
Big 15-yard run for Jernigan, and guess what? Mr. Perfect, Carlos Villa, was able to put it in, and the Renegades go down, cut this lead in half, 28-14.
Hey, we need the kind of game like those West High Vikings had last night, led by my captain and teammate Chad Greider. They fought back last night and came back and got that beautiful W. I need that energy right now on this field.
I'll tell you what, and shout out to West High and what they're doing over there in that grassroots effort. I remember, it was kind of like I believe it was Golden Valley maybe about 6 years ago, right when Coach Kane ended up over there just before COVID. And I think Coach Kane came out with 24 players because he had a bunch of kids quit, and, that happens sometimes. West High also came out, I believe, out of a half a couple of years ago with 27 players. And now that I see what they're doing over there, and you've got a fantastic alum who should be a West High Hall of Famer, and Chad Greider out there doing what he's doing and helping out that program. It says something as we get the ball taken at the 4-yard line, and the ball's on the ground. This might be Renegade football. Jaheim Alexander was able to get it. We're going to see if he was down or if the ball came loose.
The defense is on the sideline. That's another turnover. And how about that defense?
Oh, no, they said it. He was down.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah.
So we got some controversy. Controversy as the ball appears to go out. We don't have a replay yet.
Jack Froelich from Garces High was able to lay that hit.
Great explanation because, of course, we don't have that view. If the elbow did hit, it is down. So you got to admire the officials if they got it right. So it's going to be 1st and 10. Cerritos, huge.
And Kenny, you call out 2-3 gang. That was 2-4 gang right there. Froelich wearing 24. He brings it up to the 24-yard line, 2-yard rush, 2nd and 8. Your boy right here, number 24.
I mean, but again, it's the energy plays that are bringing some excitement back to the experience based on the fact that if we don't continue to try to play at a high level, things aren't going to go well. And we're getting hands on something. The energy level is slowly rising. Got to hurry up because we only got 1 minute left in this 3rd quarter, 2nd and 8.
Man in motion. Now we get Calvin with a jump pass, and his pass is going to be complete. And a great catch right there for number 7, Rocco Caldarella. And now we've got a penalty.
That's going to be a holding, though. Great pass and catch. How about the ball placement by Calvin, man? His kid, Jeremiah Calvin. I talked to him on Instagram this week because we have family in common. I said, hey, welcome to Central California. I'm wishing you luck, but hope you don't do too well. But you got to admire his ability to throw the ball. But the reason why he had that time is because he got a extra help by that offensive lineman holding that defensive end. We hadn't heard the name Miles Poole a lot tonight, and that's usually because he's facing a double team. Be a great timing moment for Poole to get a hand on something.
Just about a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. Cerritos up 28-14. Calvin out of the shotgun, looks to his right, goes over the middle, pass is complete to number 9, Michael Ashford. Ashford gets it up to the 30, still 2 yards shy of the 1st down. So that'll bring up 3rd and 2, clock ticking. This might be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
3rd and short. This is very crucial for us as well, partner. You want to keep them on this end of the field because we're fighting a scoreboard, but we're also fighting field position.
And the Renegades defense has done a good job. Cerritos only 3 of 11 from 3rd down. Now we got a timeout. We'll be able to take a timeout here on Kern News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube channel. And out of the timeout, 3rd and 2 for Cerritos. Thought it might have been an illegal motion right there, too, because a couple of guys were moving around the same time. They didn't call it, and Cerritos gets the 1st down as they bring the ball up to the 35. That was Kaysen on the carry.
Kaysen been very impressive, as well as this offensive line for Cerritos. They're finding a way to win those 3rd down conversions, and it's turning into a problem as we enter the 4th quarter.
So now we'll actually take a full timeout here. Let some ads being played. Our man Sparky downtown, you'll be able to finally get a good break. We'll be back in a few minutes right here on Current News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube channel. Two. Quarter should be three. Here we go. And we're back for fourth quarter action here on Current News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM. Live streaming on GoGades.com. Rob Chavez, the Hall of Famer Kenny Calvin, Julian Wilson. As we get a rush by Kaysen. Kaysen goes left side, brings it up to about the 38-yard line for a gain of 3. So it's going to be a 2nd and 7 coming up. Yeah, we call out quite a few area high schools that come up here to BC. You got some Garza Stars, Frontier, Centennial, Liberty, BCHS. Cerritos is really, yes, the Scots, they're really littered with a lot of guys from Mayfair High, Long Beach Poly, Warren, Downey. There's Calvin. He's going to have open space. Walker Mino was closing down on him, but somebody lost sight of number 2, Charles, don't call me George Clinton.
Yeah, and that's a big league throw, as it's more of an NFL-style comeback route. You're usually not used to guys breaking off their route at this level. Once a guy goes past 15 yards, you expect him to do, 2 or 3 routes, fade, post corner, or post. But a comeback on the outside, and Calvin puts it right on the dart. You see why this guy's over 1,000 yards through the 5 games on the season and counting.
And 75% passing.
75%. This kid will be playing on big-time Saturday football.
Ball's handed off. Oh, big.
Tyler.
Oh, man. Number 94 for the Renegades. We don't even have a 94 here.
That was number 9. That was Tyler
Was
Lewis.
that Tyler?
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing effort to get the stop. But, again, right now, it's one of those scenarios, partner, where, we're trailing 14 points. We have to find a way to create a defensive score. We've got the turnovers that we've needed, but the offense hasn't been putting it in consistently. We need to score defensively.
2nd and 8 from the 46. Ball's given to Kaysen. Kaysen met at the 45 and is going to get dropped for a gain of about 2. So we're going to have a 3rd and 6. Keelan Fanning, again, welcome back. And, again, we do want to pass along some injury news that we lost Nathaniel Wallace for the season. Tore an ACL in practice.
Oh,
so
man.
That'll be it. The second knee injury we've lost for the year. Chase Furtado also out for the year as well. 2 big playmakers on defense. So here we go, 3rd and 6. Pressure coming, but a big pass, and that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Cerritos, as Ada Moreno and Richard Gooden could not catch up to number 9, Michael Ashford. No Simpson.
And we talked about the big-time arm of Jeremiah Calvin. It's in his blood. But what I'm going to say is you definitely could see that it was in his package from what he's did to opponents coming into this game. But on that throw, he stood in the middle of the pocket and let it fly, and that receiver ran right through the middle of coverage on a perfectly thrown ball. Touchdown, Cerritos. Wow.
And a fumbled snap and a bad hold, but he was still able to get it up and good. 35-14. Cerritos. Julian didn't think that was a good reference right there to some old soul music, but I thought it was solid. Solid as a rock. Oh!
Oh, man, we got to find a way to find some joy in this moment because we're getting our teeth kicked in. You know,
Julian's just mad because he used to have that on cassette.
And right now, with 12 minutes to play in this fourth quarter, trailing 21 points, I'm going to call my uncle and see if I can talk Jeremiah Calvin into transferring next season.
Let's get that kid up. We've got some dorms being built right over here, Jeremiah.
Because right now he's putting on the show that we need.
Yes, he is.
From a home perspective. And again, we're having fun with it because we don't want to be too down and negative Nancy's. But right now he's putting on a show.
Shanks takes it at the 5, finds some blockers and able to get 22 yards up to about the 27-yard line. So the Renegades are really going to have to do something that they have not done all season, and at least on offense, and put up more than 2 touchdowns in one quarter.
Yeah, I mean, fighting an uphill battle, and at this point, there's no need to rest anybody because if you keep having games like this, there isn't going to be any postseason. So you want to find out who's the guys that you can believe in, put them on the field, and give them an opportunity to go. We've done the experiments. We've had the split reps and all that kind of stuff. Now we're at a point where we need to play the guys that have heart and don't want to give up on themselves.
1st and 10. Woods looks up, and he's got a man. Dylan Johnson, touchdown. Oh, would have been a touchdown, but it looks like the turf monster jumped up and bit him at the 27-yard line, but a big pass right there for Dylan Johnson.
And that pass comes right as we get another Renegade legend in my teammate Josh Manning up to the second deck. You know, we got to find the spirit of the guys whose grandpa built the stadium. and my teammate Josh Manning comes up.
Manning concrete up there.
And we get the big-time throw right as Manning gets up here towards the Dammer deck. So I'm going to make sure I tell Josh that he gave us some good mojo as he brought the kids up.
Fakes handoff, gives it to Fowler. Fowler's going to be over the middle for a first down. Renegades' second trip inside the red zone. The first time they were in the red zone, it did not end well for the Renegades. So we're going to see if they can have a difference here as we get a timeout for Cerritos. So we'll take a quick timeout here on the broadcast and we'll be right back with Renegades football. All right, we are back after the timeout. Renegades first down at the 12-yard line. Hand the ball off to Bubba Nettles. Bubba bounces off somebody at the 6. Was able to pick up 6. 2nd and 4. Renegades can get a first down at the 2-yard line.
All right, so the clock is our worst enemy right now, but you definitely don't want to squander this opportunity with 2nd and 5. Renegades can get a first down inside the 2-yard line.
So you get the golden hour happening right now to our west. That beautiful sunset that you see from the Dammer deck every week. And we got a fake handoff to Nettles. Woods keeps it. He's going to drive up the middle. He's going to get down to about the 5-yard line. Good job of being able to at least pick up 1 yard, but now we've got another injured Renegade that's on the field.
Yeah, and it's not looking good when you see the guys flashing that quick.
And that is number 74, Carson Burkhead. But we're going to take a quick time out here on Kerr News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on GoGades.com. Or White, after an injury timeout for Carson Burkhead, who gets helped off the field by his teammates. We're going to have a 3rd down and 3 from the 5-yard line. We've had a couple of Renegades that have been injured tonight so far, carried off the field. First one was Corey Watkins, who is on the sideline. He's got crutches and no pads. So safe to say Watkins is not going to be coming back into the game. And they're going to get Burkhead over into the SCOE tent over there. Shout out to Southern California Orthopedic Institute. They are a sponsor here at Memorial Stadium. And they were also the ones that worked on my shoulder. It's been almost 4 weeks, and I don't have the sling on right now. Nobody. This is a secret between everybody. Don't tell Dr. Hamilton that. But it's actually feeling a little bit better. Shout out to Dr. Hamilton and the staff down there at the Bahamas Surgery Center. They always do a good job. Shout out to my cousin Ella, who broke a leg as she goes to UC Santa Barbara, going hiking with her friends, happened to take a tumble, breaks a couple of bones, and now she's going to have surgery on Tuesday. So hope for her speedy recovery. Went to go visit her and gave her my ice cooler that was icing down my shoulder for a while.
My funniest moment of your shoulder surgery was seeing you at water polo and almost hitting you like I always do. Hey, what's up, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, man.
I'll tell you more about that. It's Jernigan is up the middle. 2nd effort, 3rd effort. He's going to get down. He got a 1st down at least. He gets down to the 1, so now the Renegades are going to have 4 opportunities to get it into the end zone. But, you know, for appearances, Kenny, I was at the Hall of Fame. I'm wearing a suit. I don't want to wear the sling underneath the suit. I don't want to call negative attention to myself. But I forget, being around a lot of former athletes and former coaches, you don't know how many people tap you on the shoulder.
Yeah, that's our thing.
And as soon as they were hitting me on the shoulder, it was, oh.
Yeah, you know, the old school coaches used to pat you on the butt. We the new school coaches, we tap you on the shoulder.
Because it's HR approved.
Yeah, it's approved nowadays. We don't tap you on the backside no more. We hit you on the shoulder. Hey, man, how you doing?
Right.
Then we grab it. You know, grab your trap, see if you've been in the gym.
and I'll tell you what, shout out to Coach John Fanucci, John L. He's still a teacher. He's still a teacher out over at Garces, and I get to run into him at the Garces games. I was in a sling a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, Coach John L. also took a tumble, hurt his arm. He was in a sling, and I came in with a Dodger hat, and we had just seen a real exciting game the game before, and he said, "Hey, I like that hat," and he taps me right on that hurt shoulder. I don't think he even realized that I had a sling on. So I know a lot of you listeners, a lot of former Bakersfield College athletes were played under Coach John L. Fanucci. I know his younger brother, Dave, was on that 81 team as well, too, with Coach Van Horn.
Loaded.
So, yeah.
All right, this is big, Renegade Rob.
Yeah,
Twins right.
1st and goal from the 1. They give it to Jernigan. Jernigan right up the middle, but he is stuffed. Maybe picks up a foot.
Jernigan is an amazing player, but down inside the 5, I love seeing Bubba Nettles as a bigger body.
Plow through, yeah.
To try to plow through. He's
Although,
made some good plays. I mean, Jernigan is extremely powerful as well. So we'll see what happens here, 2nd and short.
Again, he had 3 plays here to get in from a yard away.
We got Bubba in the backfield as well.
Fake.
Got a man.
Roll. Pass. Touchdown. Christian Morse.
Boom! Renegades finding a way to try to fight back. 9:27 to play.
Still a lot of time.
Still got a lot of time. Got to find a way to get quick stops. Amazing execution on that play action. You go something short and something deep. Nice throw by Woods. Still playing with some confidence in that offense. Getting it going. Just hoping that we don't run out of time.
So here comes Mr. Perfect. Don't call him Kurt Hennig. Call him Carlos Villa. Coming out. Good snap. Good hold. Good kick.
Oh, this kid's an All-American.
And the Renegades have pulled to within 14 once again. 35-21. And again, like you said, they're going to need some 3 and outs here and be able to flip this field.
3 and
get
outs,
the ball.
1 and outs. We need some 1 and outs. Many times we've seen it. We have to speak it into existence. We need plays immediately.
Kenny, don't call me LeVar Calvin. Speaking things into existence.
I mean, we've been doing it our whole lives, man. How do you think I got up here? We speak it into existence. I mean, but all jokes aside, it's not a nervous point right here, and we're still waiting on a point on the scoreboard as that kick was good. Should be 21-35 right now with 9:27.
Unless they waved it off, but I heard the cannon.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed it was good.
I'm going to check down there to make sure that they – I don't know. Maybe? No? Yeah, so we've got it 35-21 on our side.
Yeah, they'll need to update that downstairs. And right now, back deep for Cerritos.
Yeah, it's number
13.
Number 13, Trey Pinckney. Now they are updating the scoreboard. There we go, 35-21. I thought they got it right.
I mean, at least a little home cooking.
Number 7, Rocco Caldarelli, also back deep. Looks like it's going to be Caldarelli taking it at the 3-yard line.
We need a turnover right now.
Looks like that was a block in the back right there. Caldarelli
out
of space, hurdles over Kolsar. And finally you got number 5.
Woo. That looked dangerous
Thomas
right
Struck.
there.
And, you know, what you see a lot is a lot of personnel change also on that kickoff team. I was going to talk about that in the fact that they wanted to be able to get guys in there that were high energy, high motor, preferably on the defensive side of the ball. But if you had some offensive guys that were really good defenders in high school, they were going to go up to them and say, hey, look, you're a number 3 guy on offense. We need you to be a special teams maven. So you've seen a guy like Ryan Grant out there that was in coverage too. So we got 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Give it to Kaysen. Kaysen gets tripped up. Gets to the 44-yard line.
Second and
Keelan
8.
Fanning.
Fanning having a heck of a game as he's been inserted, partner.
And again, want to give a shout out. We're going to call him Juanito. Juanito Brucker out of Highland High checks in at safety, number 16. Was a fantastic receiver last year for the Scots. 2nd and 8. Now we got a pass out into the flats, and it's going to be complete to number 13, Trey Pinckney.
And you're seeing that loose coverage because we've already seen these guys run by us.
Right.
You know.
And maybe that's why you have a guy like Brucker who goes 6'2", was a receiver in high school, good at going and getting the football. They want to be able to prevent that big play.
Yeah, but right now, partner, we need a huge stop. 3rd and 3 with 8:25 to play. Definitely want to get off the field defensively and get that ball back to the offense. Pistol spread formation, 2-back set. Now they're going Wildcat. A little trickery as Calvin goes to the slot.
Kaysen in the backfield. Oh, and the turf monster
down.
Picks up on him. Are we going to be a false start? Illegal shift?
Illegal shift or false start. As it didn't appear Calvin got set longer than a second.
Okay, Coach Cal, what do? Take the 2-yard loss in a 4th and maybe 5, or you go 3rd and 7, maybe 3rd and 8?
I'm definitely taking the 2-yard loss right now because we need the down gone. You don't want to give them another down.
So the penalty was declined by Coach Thompson. So here comes the punting unit. And again, like you always say, watch the snap.
You know, beautiful moment seeing fathers and sons here at the game enjoying this moment. It would be an amazing thing for us to get some special play in this 4th quarter.
Oh,
we got some special
here we
play.
go.
And we got some special play.
Oh, here we go.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the kind of play we need right now. We don't need punt. We need plays right now.
2 guys got to that ball. Both of those guys, great receivers in high school. You had Brucker and Spears that went after that punter on that low snap. The second time they've had a low snap today. Had it on an extra point, but they were able to get it in. That's why it's so important to have a good deep snapper.
Absolutely, and kudos to you and the rest of your long snappers that actually got it back there. But I'm glad that he didn't, because that's the play that we needed with this field position.
7:38, Renegades have it at the Cerritos 39-yard line. Woods out of the shotgun with Jernigan behind him.
You go play action up top right now, but it's going to be hard to do with them two safeties. If they bring one of these safeties down, we're going to take a shot.
Woods fakes the handoff to Jernigan, steps up into the pocket. He's got a lot of space. He's going to run it. He's up. He's got a blocker. He's going to try to reach the sideline, but he doesn't, and he's going to get down to about the 29-yard line. But first down, Carson Woods.
Love the awareness by Woods. We wanted that shot on that post route coming across, but when you got two safeties deep, it's going to be hard to get that. So Woods does the second best thing. It gets upfield, first and 10.
It looks like he drew everybody out into the flats that were playing the flats, and everybody that was looking deep dropped deep, and he had about 20 yards in front of him. But a good job right there by the DBs of Cerritos to be able to close in and hold it to 10 yards, because that could have been an easily 20-yard run right there for Woods. As he's got Jernigan to his left, he hands it to Jernigan, who goes up the middle. Jernigan's going to get about 3 yards to the 26-yard line, so it'll set up a 2nd and 7.
And now we're in a situation where we want to start increasing tempo, because as you
preserving that clock.
Yeah, the clock is our worst enemy right now. Loving the energy, but I'd like to see some tempo right now. A little bit too slow in the huddle when you're down 14 points, 2 possessions.
So give him 4 yards up to the 25-yard line, 2nd and 6. Dylan Johnson splits out to the right. You've got number 15, Amarius Rowell, checking into the game for the first time today. Kasinger inside of Rowell. Jernigan still in the backfield. They fake it, or they give it to Jernigan. Jernigan with a big hit. Stays on his feet. Oh, wow, they whistled that dead, as it looks like he lost forward momentum. That was a quick whistle.
I mean, and that was an accurate whistle, because it did look like he was stonewalled, but as he's going to the ground, he spins out.
Shades of Roger
Wow.
Craig.
Scatterboo in high school. Your boy from the Giants. All right, we got an injured Cerritos player, and we're 3rd and about 4 right now. The point I'm making, partner, is we need a score, a stop, and a score.
Right.
So, I mean, we're looking good, but we got to increase the tempo, or we're going to run out of time, and wishing we get the ball back.
And, again, these where you look back and you think, as a fan, we just don't drop a couple of passes. We're able to at least secure the football. But, but again.
If it was a fifth.
and if a frog had wings, right? So we're going to have a 3rd and 3 as number 44, Adrian Castro, comes off the field. Yeah, and that other time where we're at the 14-yard line, pass it towards the end zone, and we get a pick six, or nearly a pick six.
All right, 3rd and 4, partner. What do you think is coming out of our offense right now? I know what I would do.
You always say, again, if you know you're getting 4-down territory, why are we not running right here in this situation, especially as good as we've run power? But you've got Jason Grant now back there from Centennial High standing at the 30-yard line.
Great point, because last thing you want to do is go pass and lose yardage.
And now they give it to Grant. Grant's going to try to find that first down pylon. Don't know if he's going to get there. He's going to be dropped just short. But, again, you'd rather have a 3rd and very short, less than a yard, rather than a 4th and 3.
Yeah, and you got to admire Grant getting the opportunity, but I'd love to see Nettles getting some of these carries and some of these strong, short situations. We haven't seen that.
And also in a situation like this where you do have a little bit bigger of a body in Malachi Statler, who we haven't seen in a couple games, to be able to get in there and maybe get under center and push him. So we got Woods out of shotgun. Cerritos is all over the place. They don't know what to do. And it looks like, oh, no, this is going to get snuffed out. But Bubba Nettles stays on his feet. He's bouncing off a few people, but he's not going to get there to the first down. They tried to come jet sweep, or really just a shovel pass to Nettles, and I think that was just a little bit too much, right?
I think that's a great play to run on 3rd down, in a power run situation, you want to just challenge the big guys to just go forward. We got too cute right there. We went basketball on grass on 4th and 1 and got tackled for a loss of 3. That's just too much theater right there for me. You got to keep it simple in those simple moments and allow the fools up front, as Rich Castro calls them, Coach Castro.
KISS, keep it simple, son. Because now we get a run by number 28, JoJo Apasala. And with the Renegades only having 2 timeouts remaining and 5 minutes to go.
Kudos to the Cerritos defense for playing disciplined football and finding a way to avoid the mayonnaise. I mean, all jokes aside, that defensive play by Cerritos was a very disciplined play, because you see all the window dressing and you expect them to fast flow, and they don't, and they were prepared for that backside reverse trap coming inside. Oh, and that's going to be a play that's going to haunt the Renegades as we're looking at this clock just tick away. 4th and short, and we go a inside trap reverse that we didn't run all game.
Ugh. 2nd and 9 after a pickup of a yard, just over 4 minutes to play here in this football game. And I tell you, just disappointment. This game kind of encapsulates what's been happening in this season so far for the Renegades, as Calvin looks up, and his pass is going to be caught. Oh, nearly caught. It was incomplete. Good play up top by Song Beginyu to be able to break that up.
And you got to question the mentality of a Cerritos team when you're up 2 touchdowns, taking shots when you really should be trying to run the football and put this game away.
Yeah, stops the clock with 3:57 to go.
A little bit too much confidence when you've already given up an interception on that same pass route, but the Renegades don't take advantage of it, and it's 3rd and 9. Trips open set for Calvin.
Cerritos 5 of 14 so far today from 3rd down. Give the ball to Kaysen. Kaysen's going to have a 1st down and a little bit more as he finally gets brought down by Brock Wattenbarger. Brings the ball up to the 49-yard line.
We talk about window dressing often, partner, and that was a perfect example of it. You bring out trips open set, make it appear like pass, and you run that zone read right underneath all of that, and you get 8 yards.
When you needed
it.
Yep.
Oh, great job by the offensive coaching staff of Cerritos, just doing everything the right way tonight.
And the Renegades, with only 2 timeouts remaining, 3.5 to play, they're going to need to get a turnover, most likely right here, or start calling timeouts. And now we've got
delay of game.
So that stops the clock at 3:17, backs the ball up to the 44-yard line, 1st and 15.
You know, it's one of the nights where, I mean, a lot of our nights, we see games that we can actually have an opportunity to win turn into huge losses just based on not doing the simple things. And it's come back to haunt us again with 3 minutes left to play in this 4th quarter.
Ball handed off up the middle. It's going to be stopped after about a couple of yards to the 46-yard line. 2:50 remaining.
And, partner, I say the simple things because we go back to the first drive. First play of the game, quick hitch route, 5-yard route, dropped. 3rd down, simple, quick slant play, dropped. Ends up 3 and out, and they give up points. 2nd drive, we come out, run a dig pattern, dropped off the chest, turns into an interception. Very simple plays that we don't execute turn into disasters, and it turn into L's for the coach. And another delay of game.
And it stops the clock with 2:12. The one thing that they do have working for them is that it is still a 2nd down. They're up 2 touchdowns. If they get a 1st down right here, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is make up for that bonehead incomplete pass that they threw earlier and try to get some of those minutes back realizing that, hey, can't keep playing with fire, giving a team like Bakersfield College an opportunity when you don't have to, and they go right back to the ground.
Kaysen is going to get dropped for a loss back to the 40-yard line. He may have gotten to the line of scrimmage. And it looks like they're going to – clock is going to stop with 2 minutes left in the game for the 2-minute timeout. We're going to take a timeout here on Current News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM. You're live streaming on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube channel. And welcome back to Renegades football right here on Current News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM. Live streaming on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube channel. Ball's taken up to the 49-yard line. Renegades don't seem to be taking a timeout here. Now they are going to take a timeout and stop the clock. Clock continues to run. They're probably going to have to put some time back up on there.
You know, the best thing that happened for the Renegades in this game and the fans is the fact that it's going to be over before 7 o'clock.
Right.
That's the only good thing that I can think of other than the beautiful halftime guests we had. We had an amazing time up here in the Dameron deck.
Yeah.
I'm definitely honored to share the day with our legendary guests.
I got to tell you, you brought it up to Tyrone, and you said that again, it kind of just reminded him of a lot of different guys that have come up here, given their gratitude back to Bakersfield College. But it just goes to show you. And again, I seen Jenny Lewis on the pregame show, and she talked about the importance of athletics and also just the importance of really academics and making sure that people are learning something. They're creating a community because you need community. And football is a release for that. I tell a lot of kids in school, I know you do as well too, kids that are not necessarily making the best decision.
That was one of my driller students up here with his dad.
It's like go out and play football, go play a sport, go play anything. Just don't go out and play in the neighborhood and get in trouble, you know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
I say that too because, and I want to give a shout out to, and we'll do that right after this 4th down and 10 play.
Quick punt.
And it looks like, just a quick punt from Calvin. I'll tell you what, Calvin, it's a heck of a punt there for Calvin.
He has multiple punts on the year. But before we get to the next point, I want to definitely take the time to thank Jenny Lewis, wife of Kobe Lewis. And if you don't know who Kobe Lewis is, you must be from Australia. But
former bullpen partner of mine back when I, before I decided to take a redshirt year.
Right, but Jenny commanded that room Thursday night at Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
one of the things about Hall of Fame, when you get a whole bunch of former athletes and superstars in the same room, guys don't follow instructions very well after a couple of drinks. And Jenny made them sound like 5th graders going back to their desk, getting them organized. So did Ayanna Tweedy, our athletic director, watching those women control the room when a lot of the guys were acting like our students.
Right.
At the back of the room talking and being loud. That was such a beautiful moment. And she even made me get up. I was like, hey, guys, let's go sit down. Yeah. You hear Jenny talking. But kudos to Jenny and doing all the hard work and heavy lifting for our Hall of Fame experience this week. She did an amazing job.
It was a great event. And, hey, she brag all you want, Jenny. You got everybody out of there. The show was wrapped up at 8:30. So we got Woods. Gives it off to Nettles. Nettles in space. He's going to cut back inside. He's going to still be on his feet past the 30. He's going to be short of the first down, and they're going to stop the clock. Or they waived it. They're going to call it a first down.
It's 122 left in the game.
No, he did not get there. He's a yard short.
It's 122 left in the game, and that run was an example of what I said. Nettles should be getting carries because he usually doesn't get tackled by the first guy.
Right.
Sadly, we're 1 minute away from the end of the game, and now he's getting carries.
And we've got an injured Cerritos Falcon. But, yeah, Jenny did a good job. And it's easy to also to take command of a room, too. Jenny – Not only is she a former basketball center, but she also had some a little extra height too with those heels on. So, when you're able to take a look down at a lot of people though too, that's easier to command a room. But Jenny's done an amazing job. Her professionalism, her politeness, and just her what she's given back to this school is pretty awesome. And her story with Colby and all that stuff was really good in the pregame show. So
absolutely,
shout out to them.
Because one thing people don't know, Renegade Rob, is that we get a lot of pressure from the community.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of inboxes the next day. Hey, why didn't this guy get in? Why hadn't this person get in? Jeannie did a great job explaining to people the process. This is how you nominate people. This is how we vote for them. This is who votes. Just to give people an impression, because you have people that say, well, why isn't he in? Well, have you nominated this person? No, you haven't. And the nomination portal is usually open for months. So kudos to Jenny.
Minute 20.
And the rest of the board.
Woods is going to try to get out of bounds, and he will, stopping the clock at about the 46-yard line with 1:13 to go. Renegades are going to have to get on the board here pretty quick and hope for an onside kick. But what I was getting to as well, too, is that this is a good release. And again, I want to – he may not be watching this live. Hopefully you get a chance for him to listen to this. But to my friend Eddie Fernandez and his – family who are going through a tragedy right now. I had a chance to go see him. I want to make sure that everybody sends good thoughts and prayers out to the Fernandez family on a tragic loss, a senseless loss over this past weekend, and just want to send a lot of good vibes out to them. So, we love you, Eddie and Liz and kids, and hopefully better days will come ahead, but I know it's tough now. So, we got to pass out to Dylan Johnson, who gets forced out of bounds.
We got flags on the backside as well.
We're going to find out what that is. Yes, ball's laying at the 30.
And the point I want to make, Rob, is as we end this game, somber note from a standpoint of not winning the football game is we have a personal foul. But it doesn't diminish the beautiful week that we had.
Absolutely.
Overall, all of the shows, shout out to Tom, doing a great job with his pregame shows all week, highlighting student success on campus.
Shout out to Colby for a field goal kicking competition in ostrich boots.
That's funny.
And you mentioned it, Ayanna Tweedy for doing a good job as our interim athletic director here as well, too. As Woods gets it across to Dylan Johnson. Johnson going to try to get to the sideline, and he's going to get a first down and out of bounds with 58 seconds remaining. If they get in this end zone here pretty quick and are able to possibly get an onside kick recovery, you never quite know, Kenny.
Well, I hope that we can talk our way into something like that, as we try to fill the last minute of error and celebrate all the people that make this Bakersfield College athletic experience as great as it is. A lot of beautiful people that make this experience what it is, but right now it'll be great to get some offense going and make the game interesting. Second and short.
Woods out of the shotgun, looks up, gets it out to Nettles. Nettles is going to have to race to the sideline. He's not. He's going to get stopped, but the clock is going to stop momentarily to move the chains. He gets it down to the 14 on a first down. So the clock stops at 48. They're going to have to get on the ball to spike it. Woods is going to get under center. They set it, they wind it, they clock it. Oh, no, he didn't. Ooh. We seen that down in Pasadena as well, too, where instead of spiking it with one hand, he pushed it down with two hands, and typically that's a fumble. So 42 seconds on the clock. So we're going to have second and 10 from the 14.
Remember about 7 minutes ago when I said we need to increase tempo, because if we're going to have a chance late in the game, we need to speed things up.
Here's your tempo. It's about 7 minutes too late, though.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Woods out of the shotgun's got 14 yards to get into the end zone. He's going to have to get it out quick, and he does to Johnson. Johnson's going to try to get it. Oh, he stays inbound, but finally gets out at the 6. So he's going to stop the clock, and they're going to have a 3rd down and about 3 from the 6. Clock stops at 36 seconds. Again, Renegades down 35-21.
3rd down and 3 at the 6-yard line.
Well, with this 36 seconds left in the trips open set, if I don't get a miracle, I owe my man Sylvan Marshall of Epic Records dinner, as he's a former Cerritos football player. We're going to go draw to Nettles, and that's going to be nothing doing.
And Nettles is really trying to get to that 1st down, but I think they are. They're going to be able to stop the clock here if this is a 1st down. So they're going to clock it and they're probably going to be able to have about 25 seconds to go. And now they're running the clock, but now you're going to have an offsides penalty. So it stops the clock. It's going to move the ball half the distance to the goal. 23 seconds remaining on the game clock. And we're going to see if everybody got set. Frenetic pace right here for the Renegades.
Yeah, tough.
You're going to have to meet him. You're going to have to meet him at the Cerritos Auto Square.
Yeah, my man Sylvan Marshall is responsible for artists like Rick Ross, Future. He's probably on the airplane right now, but we had to work a lot of assignments together. We both found out we were junior college football guys. So he got bragging rights on me tonight.
No, not too sure. Now, first of all, there probably should be a penalty right there. Also, yeah, they do put 2 seconds back on the clock because they whistled it dead. So we're going to have an offsides penalty against Cerritos.
This is the longest 45 seconds we'll ever see.
Also, thanks to all of our concessions out here as well, too. You had Homie's Tacos over here. In a couple of weeks, November 1st, we're going to have my guy Melvin Lee. You know him as Semper Fries. You'll see him out there at the football games. You're doing the Current High Network. Best carne asada fries that you're going to have out of a truck.
Oh, I love when they pull up for the food sale at school.
Oh, yeah. If you ever get a chance.
Let me get the gate for you.
Yeah, if you get a chance, hey, go talk to Melvin. Tell him you're my guy because Melvin is the man. So here we go. Carson Woods from the 1. Gets it out to Jernigan. Jernigan's trying to head for that pylon, and he steps out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Stops the clock with 19. I really thought that he put that ball forward.
Results in a loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, that line judge has a good look at that. It definitely looked like he stretched the ball over, but if his back heel was on the out-of-bounds line, Renegades trying to find a way to get in, make the score look respectable. Shout out to Homie's Tacos. I've had him at the house out at my in-laws for my daughter's graduation party a couple
your
years
in-laws'
ago.
house always looks like the function is really live there. As we get a pass out into the flat to Dylan Johnson, it goes incomplete, and so it's going to be 3rd down, stopping the clock at 15 seconds.
Renegade 3rd down.
Yeah, we don't have the pool at our house, so we go out to the in-laws' house to live like we at the resort.
The Wasco folks that have relocated.
Shout out to Pop. Great example of a man. Men building men. My mother-in-law, 8-time cancer survivor. They had the
I seen that. Links for Life.
Links for Life.
That's
they had
amazing.
The walks this week.
Got to take advantage of those, man.
CBCC event Saturday night or Friday
Woods
night.
gets a pass across on a slant, and he gets broken up. So now we're going to have 4th down with 12 seconds remaining on the clock.
How about the pride of this
Cerritos
Cerritos defense,
yeah.
man? You got to admire them not giving up, continuing to play strong even though they have the lead. Our camera crew agrees. They up here doing the hard work with us as well. Shout out to the guys. You know, and this is a tough way to end the football game for the Renegades, as Cerritos is not backing down.
All right, here we go. Renegades, 4th and goal from the 2. We've got Nettles in the backfield. Nettles gets the ball, and he's going to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
Pat, 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 pat.
What are you doing with that little thing, man? Put that thing away.
Put that thing away. Pat, pat. You don't get a boom. We don't get a boom on that one. But no, all jokes aside, love seeing Bubba Nettles get his opportunity because I was asking for that about 8 minutes ago.
Yes.
We're running double reverses on 4th and 1 when you got a guy that weighs over 200 pounds and runs through brick walls for a living. I know I coached defense my whole life, but come on, man.
You know the offensive side of the ball well enough. As we got, guess what? Another Carlos Villa extra point.
Carlos
Good.
Villa, man. All-American. Carlos, don't call me La Villa. I mean, every game we try to find positives. And right now, 10 seconds left to play.
Let's see this
onside.
onside.
Kick and a Hail Mary, we in business.
Let's see this onside. Hey, how about that delayed pat,
pat, pat, pat, pat. Why you shooting that little thing?
You broke my nose, man.
If you don't know what we're referencing,
you
guys got to go.
Yes.
Dig up the fouls for Harlem Nights.
Julian knows when we're referencing something silly, and he looks up.
Hey, this is what happens when we have these kind of games where we're trying to get some energy back into it. You got to hear us talk about old 80s movies.
Here we go. Carter Kosar out to attempt the onside kick, and he's going to get it up.
Opposite.
Oh, he had an opportunity, but we were going to have an offsides anyway against BC.
I like it. That was a nice surprise.
Hey, Coach Mateo Alvarez, little trickery right there.
Now, that was a great opportunity for a misdirection play. It's in motion that way. Kick the opposite side. That was a nice attempt right there.
So Cerritos is going to take the kick out of bounds. Oh, 2 fouls. Oh, so we're going to get a re-kick.
All right, so fortunate event for the Renegades. They get another opportunity, and you hear a couple
now
of the light bulls.
They should also put 2 seconds on the clock because nobody ever touched the ball, and you don't run the clock until somebody touches it. It went out of bounds, but they ran 2 seconds off the clock. So now we've got 10 seconds. Let's see if they do this again. Why not? Kolsar.
Oh, and it touched somebody.
Oh, and number 2, Charles Funkadelic Clinton down there was able to hold on to the ball.
Kolsar with the nice kick, though. That was a
decent.
beautiful kick.
So the Renegades are going to come up 7 points short again.
That just spiked my cookie. Because this loss chaps my hide, man. We got to find a way to minimize turnovers, and we'll cover all of that on our red carpet post-game show.
So now we've got Jeremiah Calvin, who takes the final knee of the game, and that'll do it. Cerritos is going to take this road win, 35-28, over the Renegades, spoiling their homecoming here at Memorial Stadium. We're going to come back after a few minutes for some post-game action here on Current News Talk, AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube on the Bakersfield College Athletics YouTube channel. All right, and welcome back to Bakersfield College Memorial Stadium right here on Current News Talk AM 1180, 96.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube at the Bakersfield College Athletics channel. Rob Chavez, Kenny Calvin. Another disappointing loss, 4 in a row now for the Renegades. We haven't been a part of a 4-game losing streak since we've been here together as a team. Valiant comeback towards the end, but like we were saying in the regular broadcast, the penalties, the mistakes, they just like you said, self-inflicted wounds.
The SIWs. I was waiting on you to throw that out there because that's the theme of the night. We started out early from the first play. Self-inflicted wounds hurt the opportunity to create any kind of momentum and rhythm. And then you have a defense that's on the field a little too long against a potent offense. I mean, we got to give credit where credit is due. Cerritos came out with a specific game plan in the quarterback of Jeremiah Calvin, who was as good as advertised. I mean, coming into the game, he had already had 1,000 yards passing, and he was so efficient in his first opportunities in those first couple drives. We definitely didn't help the cause offensively by dropping footballs and turning the football over. You know, we talked about it in weeks past, how we were wanting to find a way to control what we can control, and you can't do that when you're turning the ball over and dropping passes.
Yeah, and we've both been involved with a lot of team athletics, and one of the things that all coaches say, doesn't matter what sport it is do your individual job, your individual responsibility, and in football, that's your individual assignment on defense, and on offense, you get an opportunity to possess the football. Not only do you secure it, but you keep securing it throughout. And it's just something that the Renegades, again, a young team, young coaching staff, but also an experienced coaching staff. It's not as if, Tyler Thompson, young guy,
very experienced,
but he's also got a lot of experience on that coaching staff. And like you said, the scheme is there. We've seen it. Everybody else is seeing it right there. It's just that execution. They just need a little bit more of that discipline when it comes to making plays.
Right. It's Hall of Fame week, right? It's homecoming, and we talk about player greatness. We had greatness in the Dammer deck today, and Coach Van Horn and Tyrone Crawford. My first time having more than an hour with him, in this moment, and it was so personal, it reminds you how great men have come through this place to achieve great things. If that doesn't inspire you to play at the best of your abilities as a player, I don't know what's going to do it for you, because you're not going to have guys like that coming to see you on a Friday and motivate you right after they were celebrated as Hall of Famers all the time, right? So you got to take advantage of those moments. And with a 2-4 record, you got a lot of couch quarterbacks and people that are going to try to throw blame at coaches.
Yeah.
And as former coaches, we like to challenge players that, hey, you want to be the guy on the news. You wonder how guys like Coach Calvin and Coach Crawford Mr. Crawford get into the Hall of Fame. They did it by being individual stars when the moment was in front of them. We haven't been able to see that out of a whole lot of guys. We got a couple of individual guys that have stepped up into their star role. I love what Jernigan did tonight with his opportunities. Love what Carson Woods did in some of those early throws, putting the throws on the mark. Bubba Nettles had some amazing plays and trying to be that spark. But you're going to need more than 2 or 3 guys when it's a team like the 5-1 now Cerritos team led with a guy like Jeremiah Calvin that looks like he's going to be playing some big-time football in the upcoming year.
Absolutely. And we've seen some really good quarterbacks so far this year in Tate and a kid from Allen Hancock. And Jeremiah Calvin was a total package here today. And, got to give kudos to him. He came in with poise. They put up 14 quick points against the Renegades. And they really didn't – they had their hiccups in the second half. But for the most part, like Coach Van Horn said – we've seen that this team, this Renegades football team, hasn't proven that they can come back from something like 14 points yet.
Man, and when Coach said it, I was hoping he was wrong. but he usually isn't,
No,
right?
he's not.
You know, he's one of the greatest football minds that we've been around and fortunate to be raised, coached, and mentored by, but we also get to work side by side with him as broadcast journalists every week, and we hear him say things that end up being right. And as coaches, sometimes we hate being right, right? Like, man, we know if this happens, you know, it's going to be a long night. And as he said it, that's what happened. We went down a couple of scores, and it's so hard for us to even generate drives, let alone try to generate multiple drives to come back after being down multiple scores.
Yeah, so Cerritos is going to stay on top of the standings in the National, I believe it's the Northern League, by going 35-28 over the Renegades. Also in our league, we're going to take a look around the scoreboard here. Looks like we've got, as we're looking through this, 34-7 easy win, East LA over Orange Coast College. That has gone final. That was down in Orange Coast earlier today. Want to take a look to see. I know there is one other game in league that we've got to take a look at, and doesn't seem like we have that quite yet. Citrus and Long Beach tied in the first half.
You got Mount Sac beating the Santa Ana team that we played 42-0.
And that's pretty big. And that's what goes to show you that this team right here, the only loss that Cerritos had was to Mountain Sac. And, you know, we had a, you know, kind of a tough test at the very beginning of the year with Santa Ana. We overcame it. But that just goes to show you where the Renegades kind of have to get to in order for them to take that next step, really. So the next time we're going to be on the air is going to be next week against Fullerton. And that's going to be a 2 o'clock kickoff. We're going to be on the road. Fullerton also been playing some good football as well this year. And they're definitely going to be trying to protect their turf. We're going to be broadcasting that from the studios down there. And then we'll be right back here in a couple of weeks against East LA. And we'll have 2 home games in a row, Orange Coast the week after that. We'll finish up the season November 8th at Canyon. So, you know, Renegades, all they can do really now is try to make this a winning season. I mean, again, now you're at 4 losses. If you don't win out, is, you know, a 5-5 season or less, yeah, and that is not a success at all, especially in the eyes of a lot of Renegade fans that were looking for, start to a winning tradition.
Yeah, I mean, we're spoiled here. You know,
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and say that. You know, we're one of the greatest institutions in the country. A lot of amazing history, as we've already stated.
As you heard from
individual
Tyrone
player.
Crawford.
Yeah, you know, having legends like that come home, it definitely was a beautiful week. But we have to find a way as players, and I'm going back into the mind of a player, not as my former coach self. As players, we have to find a way to overcome our own obstacles to see our greatness. We can't continue to look outward. You know, one of the things that I've talked about, and you guys have been with me as we travel as keynote speakers when we're speaking to kids, you have to have the internal desire for your own successes. And that's one of the things that I try to inspire and motivate and instill into my clients, players over the past. Like, we all want to be part of something great, but we have to find a way to have our own internal desire for the success that we want and visualize. And we can't make excuses when that's not happening. We look at our record at 2-4, it's going to be a whole lot of couch potatoes saying, man, coaches, what they doing, man? But when you're watching film, you see players
come back and watch
lacking
this game.
execution in small moments, and we have to do a better job individually as players as well.
And again, I'm sorry, the only other score that we had here, and it was Fullerton. They did play on Thursday. They beat Canyons at Canyons, and that was a Canyons team who beat Pasadena.
All right, right.
You know, so
any given Saturday, I should say, like the movie with Willie Beeman,
and Golden West was able to come up with a win in Pasadena as well too, as the other league game as well. So again, everybody's chasing Cerritos right now, and you know the Renegades had their opportunity to be able to knock off the guys at the top. They didn't take advantage of that. They've got 4 games remaining on the season to be able to turn things around. And again, we've seen in past years gone 6-4, we're able to make a bowl game, and I think that's got to be the goal at this point for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, as coaches, it's always a teaching moment, right? We're still teaching the game. Our coaches are educators. We want to continue to teach the game and get guys to understand why every snap is an audition. Every play is an audition. I tell people that in the world. Every day in the world is an audition. You never know who you're going to come across and who's watching. You never know who's watching. What kind of person are you when no one's watching?
Right.
And that's what I'm going to ask out of my players as they get a couple days off and get to come back. You know, guys, take time to think about who do you want to be remembered as a person. And, you know, I get goosebumps as I say that because I remember that conversation coming from Coach Bowser for me. Like, hey, Kenny Calvin, what kind of person do you want to be? We know what neighborhood you came from, but you have a chance to be something great if you just dig in. Who wants to dig in and find the best versions of themselves as Renegade football players as we approach the last 4 games of the season?
And that's and again, no discount to the wide receivers, but I can tell you that wide receiver room is going to be full of those guys, and I know they've got great coaches over there, Coach Paul, Coach Morrow.
Matter of fact, shout out to Coach Paul. He had a tough week. You know, definitely want to take time to send prayers to the Paul family who had a scare with their son out in Kansas. But it looks like things are going great. You know, kudos to Coach Paul. That may have affected the wide receiver room not having their coach here this week.
Yeah, and I know having Coach Morrow here too helps out to be able to backfill that. But I know that guys like that, integrity coaches, are going to be able to get that room together and make them come out with a little bit more fire as they travel to Fullerton. So that'll do it from here at Memorial Stadium. Final score, Cerritos Falcons 35, Bakersfield College Renegades 28. Kenny?
Rob, one thing I want to leave with, man, I'm proud of you and the way that you've continued to help carry this broadcast and our broadcast team, our film crew, and the amazing job that they do. Our producer director Julian Wilson,
Jesse,
but our spotter Jesse. Never can forget Jesse. But beautiful experience to be a Renegade through this experience, win or lose.
Oh yeah.
And we love the people that love us back.
100%.
You know, sometimes we're in a room, you got people that wearing shirts, they'll walk right past you. But the people that stop and give us those handshakes and those hugs that are true Renegade faithful, we love you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always good to be recognized. And it's nice. We don't do it for the recognition. We do it for BC and the kind of appreciation we have for that. So, again, for our staff here at Bakersfield College, Ayanna Tweedy, Carly Flowers, Todd Hansen, Annalicia Kronquist, Lori Ambrose, Julian Wilson, Chris Sanchez,
Javier.
John behind the camera, Javier, Jess, Kenny, Rob here, Gio, the hardest working man here on campus. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week. God bless you all. We'll see you back next week against Fullerton.
Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com.